We're breaking down week 12 from an injury point of view. Obviously, we're going to hit all the injuries, the news, the predictions, the projections, but most importantly, in a few seconds here, we're going to hit the news, then we're going to go straight into my week 12 Turkey Day projections for every single player, impact player in the Green Bay, Detroit, Commander, Dallas, and San Francisco, Seattle games. So for all 6 of those teams, your boy's breaking down projections for each one of those matchups, and I'm going to tell you how the games are going to go. But before we do that, we're getting into news. Drop your super chats, drop your questions. Phone lines will be open. Phone calls will be had. Let's hit the intro, the news, the projections, the super chats, and phone calls. The Fantasy Football Show begins now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live!
Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, here is your breaking news.
It is true. It is true. What you've heard about me is true. I go live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. It's a nasty habit, but it needs to be done. Jaylen Warren, talk about nasty. This guy's nasty, and when I mean nasty, I mean elite. Now, throwing around the term elite is kind of reckless, I guess, but the guy's so good. You oftentimes hear people say Austin Eckler, the new Austin Eckler. It's not that crazy to think that he becomes something huge in fantasy. I think it's also very, very smart to be cautiously optimistic. Nobody should be expecting this man to be Austin Eckler. It's just, you hear it a lot, and he's a fun player to talk about. He truly is. What an amazing player to have added to your team. And we've talked about it all season long on the waiver wire. Constant Jaylen Warren. Constant. Is he available week 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? The 2 preemptive waiver wire shows. So he's definitely been on our radar, on our fantasy football waiver wire episode every single weekend. Hey, what other show brings up the waiver wire in front of you at any moment during the entire week? Nobody. Just this show. What other show goes live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday? Nobody. This show. We're doing it live, and Jaylen Warren's doing it live too. And Jaylen Warren is a fantastic play, a fantastic running back too going forward. And ESPN Jeremy Fowler believes that Jaylen Warren and George Pickens will benefit from the Steelers switch to interim offensive play caller Mike Sullivan. And I also agree.
To the moon.
It's been a long-awaited move to get away from Canada, who's been an absolute disaster as a play caller, and now we have Jaylen Warren may be utilized even more. And you got to think somebody walking into this offense, not that he hasn't been there, but saying, "Hey, this is potentially the best weapon we have that I've been seeing at least do something." The last thing that Sullivan's going to do is start utilizing Warren less than current usage levels. So it's 95% likely he's going to use him even more. That's just going to be the nature of trying to use what you have to build upon and make this offense more explosive. So to the moon, to the freaking moon goes Jaylen Warren. I love this news. This news right here is a little less exciting. However, I want to keep everybody focused on what's going on with this guy. First piece of news earlier today said Jeremy Fowler, Devon Achane knee playing week 12 would be a mild surprise. The elephant in the room is that he may or may not play this week. Doesn't mean he's not still league winning once he's back on the field in week 13. I think a lot of people expect him to just be out for 4 or 5 weeks again, not return at all. If he misses another week precautionary wise, then so be it. Like, I'm not jumping ship on him as far as he is an elite top 5 running back when he's on the field. I know a lot of other people measure a player's ability to score fantasy points by whether they miss games. You know, like especially, no, you can't even call him injury prone at this point. He's had a knee issue. He got over it, and somebody landed on his knee. And we have people that just come in and run their mouth against this guy. He's horrible. He's injury prone. He's never going to stay healthy. That suplex on his knee would have taken anybody out of the game. He wanted to go back into the game. He would have gone back into the game if Miami Mike McDaniel didn't say, no, we're going to take this, be cautious with this. There's no indication it's a long-term injury. And this report that happened after this report said Dolphins running back Devon Achane was limited in practice, upgraded to limited, and there's now essentially some sort of vibe that he could play this week. Yeah, if someone's saying don't drop Achane, tell me somebody in here didn't say drop Achane. They're trying to ruffle your feathers. There's nobody in their right mind that would drop Achane. So my advice to everybody that's holding him right now, just be patient. Don't listen to the noise. It is what it is. He's not playing this week, so be it. He still could, but if he's not, I'm saying, if he doesn't play, there's nothing you can change about that. It certainly doesn't affect how good he is when he gets back onto the field. That's the one thing I want you to take away from this. This is not something that you shouldn't be evaluating this as if he is not an elite player because he's not going to play if he doesn't play week 12. Let everybody else continue to rip into him. I really don't care. It doesn't bother me in the slightest. This is a player that has top 5 running back capability. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody does. If they want to cut him, they can cut him. I'll scoop him up. My people will scoop him up. If anybody out there cuts Devon Achane, they don't know what they're doing. And that's amazing for you if you play in a league with someone that doesn't know what they're doing. Let people hate. The haters don't own him. That's why they hate. They don't own him. They're mad at themselves. They want to be right at the end of the day in them missing the evaluation process on this kid. And that's the psychology behind it, plain and simple. Every piece of hate has everything to do with regret. Regret that they didn't draft him. Regret that they don't have the number 1 player in the National Football League in 40-plus yard runs, and he's not even playing. He's been sitting out. He's number 1 in 40-plus yard runs, number 1 in 20-yard-plus runs, and he's been sitting out. Imagine what he's going to do when he gets back in. I just can't wait to see this explosion. This will be one of the most, I think, exciting live streams I do, is when he pops back off and everybody that's been hating on him is going to vanish into thin air and we won't see him ever again. They'll be gone. They won't come back. They'll be so upset. Mike McDaniel hinted that running back Jeff Wilson will be active for week 12. This is a decent pickup and play. Who knows how much run he gets, but Ahmed went on IR, so there's definitely some opportunity. If for any reason you are without Achane and you're desperate, just take a look at Jeff Wilson. Pick him up at least and put him on the roster. Kyren Williams designated to return from injured reserve and fully expected to get a boatload of work from everything that I'm reading, hearing, and seeing. So get excited about Kyren. He needs to be back in all lineups immediately. This one kind of came out of nowhere today. This is bad news. Luka Musgrave lacerated kidney. That is not good. There is word that it probably will not require surgery, but he's going on IR, so Luke Musgrave cannot help you for pretty much the rest of the season. So that sucks. That was a out of nowhere situation. And then another Green Bay Packer, which is going to creep into the projection part of this show, which I have in just a millisecond here. I'm gonna flip the switch and play my projections for Turkey Day. It's a pre-recorded little video clip. I'll be back. This is a live show. I'm live right now. I'll be back to answer questions and go through super chats and take phone calls, but we will be ripping through about an 8-minute pre-recorded video. Aaron Jones' knee unlikely to play week 12, so Musgrave and Aaron Jones, huge blows to that Green Bay offense, and I'll go over how that's going to be impacting this projected outcome. in this week number 12 matchup on Turkey Day. On Turkey Day against the Detroit Lions, who will certainly, probably, most definitely rout the Packers in that one. Ja'Marr Chase, Bengals, according to an ESPN report, the Bengals will try and run their offense as usual with Jake Browning. We'll see about that. The one thing that I have to say about people expecting Ja'Marr Chase to continue to be Ja'Marr Chase is that if he struggled with Joe Burrow struggling, I can't imagine him not having way more struggles than normal. This is a guy that's going to be Garrett Wilson-esque in a way. Elite player, elite talent in a very vulnerable position, and there's not a lot to go around, and there'll be some ups and downs. There'll be some games where he has 90 and a touch. Sure, Chase could have 90 and a touch on any given Sunday, Monday, Friday, or Thursday, occasional Friday, or occasional Saturday. But this is a player that I think expecting high-end wide receiver one numbers is very, very reckless. He is going to be borderline wide receiver one material on the whole. And some weeks he could be 6, 7, 8, I guess. But this is a player that I have a handful of players to the tune of 10 that I'd rather have long-term for the rest of the season over Ja'Marr Chase in this situation that I don't believe will be very, very consistent. Enrico Dowdle, the rookie, or the backup running back in Dallas that has been threatening Tony Pollard's potential starting gig, not because he's so great, he's good, but because Pollard hasn't been productive. They've thrown Rico in, and Rico's looked better, but again, change of pace backs usually do because the defense is expecting different play calls, etc., etc. There's a lot bigger space, open rushing lanes for a lot of backup change of pace backs. So it's hard to know like what he'd really look like if he got shoved into the lineup. Think Joshua Kelly. Remember Joshua Kelly, week 1, everybody got excited about him. Austin Eckler got injured. They shoved Kelly in. Kelly does nothing. Kelly looked good in change of pace work. Dowdle, not saying he's not good. I'm just saying he's not as good as Pollard, in my opinion, at all. And he's questionable, though, for this week 12 game. And while we don't celebrate injuries on this channel, this is good news for Pollard in that he doesn't seem to have the Dowdle threat probably, breathing down his neck. And he has a really good shot in this Washington-Dallas game, which I'm going to go over in a second, of really, really having a huge monster game. So that's the news right now. 254 of you in the building. Punch that thumb up if you would and could. And let me get into this video here. This is my 2023 Turkey Day projections for all the players and teams playing on Turkey Day. 6 teams, and then after this video plays, we will get to super chats and phone calls, so enjoy. What is going on, good people? We're here to break down the Turkey Day games. The 6 teams on screen here playing on Thanksgiving Day, and just those players. Projections, talk about what we expect. Green Bay at Detroit, Washington, Dallas, San Francisco, and the Seattle Seahawks. The Fantasy Football Show begins right now.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com studios.
It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Okay, so to kick this off, I want to first talk about the 2 pieces of news relating to this Green Bay-Detroit game. Musgrave, laceration in the kidney, on injured reserve. That's horrible timing for fantasy football playoff hopes because people have been losing Andrews and other tight ends, and now all of a sudden Musgrave's out, who was a great replacement for a lot of people who lost Andrews. So he's going on IR. That's horrible news, not only for this game, but for fantasy football owners everywhere. Prayers up to him. Aaron Jones is unlikely to play week 12, so Dylan's going to get more run. How much run? We'll see what we think here. But having 2 big components of this offense out is not good. I will say, and maybe we start off with the Detroit Lions side of the football here. This being a game I think is going to be controlled on the ground, which is great news for Monty and Gibbs. I think St. Brown still has a day. I think Goff is pretty efficient. Sometimes these games seem to go different than you project. You think it's going to be a good ground game, and then they throw the hell out of the ball. So we'll take a look at that. But let's start off with Monty and say he feels pretty safe for for like, I would say 100-yard game on the ground. I'll say we'll call it 100 rushing. We'll call it 20 receiving. We'll call it 1 touchdown. That's going to be Monty's line in week number 12 on Turkey Day. And this guy right here, Jahmyr Gibbs, let's call it 95 yards rushing. Let's call it 55 receiving. We'll call it 4 receptions for the 55 yards and 1 total touchdown, which will be a nice little afternoon for Jahmyr Gibbs. 95, 55. That is an amazing little 150-yard game for Jahmyr Gibbs. Let's ink that in, lock it in. Then we'll go over to, let's see, St. Brown. Yeah, we'll say St. Brown we'll give him a tutty. So we got 3 touchdowns total so far. TD, we'll call it 6 receptions for 85 yards and 1 TD. So we'll put it like that. That'll be St. Brown's line in week number 12 on Turkey Day at home against the Green Bay Packers. Not sure how I feel about Laporta right now. He feels like he's in a little bit of a rut, and we'll call it 4 to 5 receptions, and we'll say he pulls in 65 yards. I don't think that's horrible. I just feel like he is in a little bit of a rut. I think this is going to go more in favor of the Monty Gibbs St. Brown direction in week number 12. But you never know. Definitely don't sit Laporta. He's certainly still a top 10 tight end. Certainly still capable of getting like a 90-yard touchdown performance on any given Sunday, Monday, Thursday, Friday, occasionally Fridays. He's certainly capable of doing that. And Goff, Goff coming off kind of a poor performance, I think still has, we'll call it like 240 yards, 2 TDs. I think he probably has 1 INT in this one. I think he looks a lot better. I think his offense being in control, running the ball is going to make him more efficient. Wouldn't even be surprised if this is more along the lines of like 220, something along that territory, but that's kind of the way I'm feeling. Jameson, let's call Jameson 40 yards. I certainly believe Jamo's got the potential and upside to do more than that, but we're going to cap it there. Now, Love, we're going to say Love's throwing from behind in this game, which doesn't bode well for Dylan. But Dylan's going to get work. We'll call Dylan 65 yards. I don't know, 50-50 shot to maybe score, maybe 20 receiving. Not a bad yardage performance, but one of those games where it's like the yardage is kind of there, but the points don't really, it doesn't feel like a great fantasy outing. Again, Aaron Jones is going to be out for this one. Watson scored a touchdown last week, broke the seal. I think he does have something along the lines of 70 and a touchdown. That would be for Watson. I think he's been getting touchdown opportunities every single game. Like if you go back and watch literally like every single game throughout the entire season, he's getting 1 to 2 end zone targets. He's in the end zone. Deflected pass, defender makes a strong play, or Love places the ball in a bad spot. Watson has dropped a couple, but it hasn't been as many as you'd think. It's more been bad luck and bad football placement. But Love without Aaron Jones and Love without Musgrave is going to be probably a struggling Jordan Love in this game. So we'll give Watson that 70 and a tutty, but Reed will give him, we'll call 70 and a TD as well. I think he's capable of even something along the lines of like 90 total yards if we're going to throw in a rushing attempt, something like that. So for the most part, I think Love could get to that 2 touchdown mark, which you'd think, oh, that's a great day. But I could also see a 2 to 3 INT performance, and let's call it like a 245 yardage. At the end of the day, it's not horrible if you can get you 2 scores in 245, but it does depend on, this could be 2 or 3 interceptions in this game. That's my assessment of this team right here. I do believe the Lions will rout them at the end of it all. It'll just be Green Bay trying to throw the ball at the end of the game, and the Detroit Lions just running the hell out of the football through these 2 gentlemen, especially this man, Jahmyr Gibbs. Have I explained to you why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10? Have I showed you the science before? But the continuum of the gigawatt component structure of Jahmyr Gibbs's workload divide has a megawatt offload that if you compartmentalize the component conjunction timekeeper and you flux capacitor out the continuum component megavolt, things just end up happening. And that's why Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 5 to 10 running back instead of top 6 to 10. This man, Jahmyr Gibbs, he looks better than Kamara looked coming out of college, more prepared to become Kamara. Schmitty, did you just say Gibbs was more prepared to become Kamara than Alvin Kamara was prepared to become Kamara? And now on to Washington, Dallas, baby. So this game's going to be a little different because this is a tough Dallas defense, and they're looking really, really hungry right now to score and create opportunities. And Howell, while he's played very well this year, one of our biggest super flex like breakouts, we're talking about second quarterbacks. You're looking deep into a draft and trying to stockpile second and third rounders on non-QBs and Superflex. This guy Howell was sitting there, and he's been in the top like 5, 6, 7 quarterbacks, depending on your scoring all year long. But this is a tough matchup, and Howell's coming off a really, really bad, I believe he had 3 INTs, week 11 performance, and things are not going to get any easier. So I'd probably say Howell's looking at something along the lines of like a 240, 2 INT, at least, maybe 3. Well, you know what? Let's just put it on here so that the possibility is there. 2 to 3 INTs, 240. Wouldn't shock me if he had 0 passing touchdowns and 1 rushing touchdown, because he is so dynamic on the ground with his legs, and we'll call it like 20 rushing yards. Not a good, I'm knocking everything over here, not a good performance out of Howell in this one, and this is going to trigger and cascade on down to these other positions here. So B-Rob, look, B-Rob's been very effective catching massive amounts of yardage in the PPR game. I would say like a 20 to 30 yard receiving type of affair. 0 receiving touchdowns. Obviously, Howell didn't throw one in the projection up above. So, 25 rushing yards, 20 to 30 receiving yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 to 3 receptions, and that's going to be it for B-Rob in this matchup, in my opinion. Gibson, kind of a similar line, maybe less rushing yards, maybe call it 10 to 15 rushing yards, and then zero total touchdowns, maybe 3 to 4 receptions for 15 to 20 yards, and no touchdowns. Very, very bad outing for Gibby and for B-Rob. McLaurin, maybe he gets you 5 to 6 receptions for 65 yards, no tutties. Dotson, maybe something very similar. Dotson, 5 to 6 receptions for 60, 65 yards. Logan Thomas, maybe 3 to 4 receptions for, 35 yards. This is going to be a bad fantasy football outing for this Washington Commander team. Now, could I be wrong? Absolutely. This is the NFL. Could some crazy sort of turnover fest trigger some sort of solid play? And who the hell knows? An injury. But this is a tough Dallas defense. And I think what ends up happening in this game, Dowdle, the backup running back in Dallas, is banged up right now, which is really, I don't want to say good news. We never celebrate injury. I don't mean it like that, but it's good news for Pollard that he gets a shot to kind of really take all the work on in this one. And I believe because of the game script here, we're looking at 100 total rushing yards, 100 rushing yards out of Pollard in this one. We're looking at 1 TD. Maybe this will be a double touchdown game for him. We're also looking at maybe 3 to 4 receptions for about at least 25 yards. And even if this was like, let's say 95 yards on the ground, something like that, 95 yards, this could be a like 30, 35 receiving yard affair for him. Any way we shake it, we could even look at it like this and just say, let's give him 120 total yards and 1 touchdown. And call it 3 to 4 receptions. I think that's going to be a great day for Pollard. Game will be controlled on the ground. Defense, rushing attack. Maybe no Dowdle, we'll see. But Pollard to the freaking moon in this game. I think it's a really solid game for him. Dak, I think, still does some damage, even though the ground game and the defense will be controlling everything. You're still looking at probably something along the lines of Dak probably have, we'll call it 2 TDs for Dak. We'll call it 260 passing, and we'll say 0 INTs. So we got 2 touchdowns to work with for these wide receivers and pass catchers here. And so that'll put, let's say, lamb chops in we'll call it 90 yards and a touchdown. And reception-wise, let's give them 6. 6 receptions, 90, and a touch. That'd be a good day for lamb chops. Wouldn't shock me if he had 100, 110, 120, but we'll put him in that category. Fergie, let's call it 3 receptions, 30 yards, and 1 TD. He seems to be finding the end zone, and I think that's a solid line. And so for Cooks, let's call Cooks something along the lines of, 5 receptions for 55 yards and call it a day. That's my projection for this game right here. Biggest takeaway, Pollard will feel like he's back. Lamb will continue to do what Lamb does. And now we move on to San Francisco, Seattle. Oh, and Gallup, we'll call Gallup 3 for 33. I don't know, it just came to me. To kick off the Seattle and Niner contest here, it's important to note that Kenny Walker is doubtful for week 12, so we're going to put a red line through him. Don't expect him to play in this one. Charbonnet will be the lead dog, and while I do believe this is not a very great matchup for Charbonnet, this is a top 10 rushing defense, and they're really probably better than that. They rank somewhere around there, but because they struggled for a grip of time as this defense started to find itself, and Wilkes was doing an awful job, they moved him down to the field. They brought in Chase Young. Things have turned around, so I think they're playing much better as a whole. Passing defense, rushing defense, all sides of this thing have been improved over the last couple of weeks. So their rank, I don't think, sufficiently tells the story about what kind of defense you're going to face from week to week when you go up against the Niners going forward. But I'd say Walker very much being out is very much a good thing for Charbonnet's ability to, I think, get in a rhythm. And I think that even though this is one of the tougher matchups, Char probably still finds a way to get like 70 yards and 70 total yards, we'll call it. And that's not amazing, but I think he's got like a 50%. I want to put a full tutty on here. I'm going to say he has a 50% chance at a TD. We'll call this a 0.5 touchdown. That's the first time I've done this on the projection. 0.5 touchdown. It's a tough matchup, and really the game script is going to determine whether he's able to be utilized enough in the running attack, and if he's not, they throw to him, but will he have a lot of room to navigate? Tough to say. I'd say this is Charbonnet is the one player where I feel like no matter what, they're probably going to try and use him a lot, passing to him, throwing to him, running the football early on in the game if they can. So he'll be pretty involved the entire game, but this is a tough matchup. I think DK and Lockett, who have been removed from the injury report, by the way, I think both these guys end up having kind of a similar line. Maybe it just comes down to who gets the touchdown, if there is one to be even had. I would say that DK ends up pulling in, let's say DK gets you 70 yards on 5 receptions and a TD. I'm going to say Lockett gets you that 5 and 70-ish without the touchdown. That's going to be TJ Lockett's line, and JSN will be something along the lines of like 5 for 55. It's not going to be a good game. Gino's probably looking at at least a 2 to 3 INT day. This is for Gino, and I don't know that he's going to have more than like 230, 240 and the 1 TD. And he's playing banged up anyway. If for any reason there's some sort of negative news, this goes in the wrong direction for Gino, who's questionable but likely to play. We'll have an update on that on the show, but not going to be a good day for the Seahawks, in my opinion. I think they get completely blasted to pieces by this 49ers unit that is playing very, very solid football on all sides and all facets of the football. Let's start off with Purdy and say he has a 240, 2 TD, 0 INT performance, probably some rushing yards in there. We'll call it like 255 total yards, okay, is what he's going to have. That is for Purdy. I think McCaffrey's going to have, we'll get to the wide receivers in a second. McCaffrey's going to have 110 total yards and 1 TD, potentially 2. I'd say we'll do this. We didn't do this with the other 2 matchups, but we'll call this 1.5 TDs. I think he's got a really strong shot at having a 2 touchdown performance. We'll call it 1.5 TDs, 110 total yards, maybe 125 total yards, and probably 3 or 4 receptions. I'd say. Let's call Debo 85 total yards, because hard to know if he's going to run for. Catch one of those behind the line of scrimmage, behind Brock Purdy type of catches, take it as an actual counted rush. 85 total yards, 1 TD, we'll call it 5 to 6 receptions. And let's put it 95 total yards out of Deebo Samuel, 5 to 6 receptions, 1 TD. Ayuk, I'm going to call it, we'll call it 6 for 90 and 1 TD. George Kittle, we'll call it 5 for 65. I know people want a touchdown here, but I'm going to say they go to Ayuk and Debo. And we'll say Eli Mitchell has about 30 total yards. That's my assessment here. Now, hey, Smitty, where are all these points? You say they're going to rout the Seahawks. You only gave me 4 touchdowns, which is a lot, which is plenty, actually. But I think I just marked on my chair. I think this defense is scoring at least 1 touchdown. San Francisco DST, at least 1 TD. I think this San Francisco defense probably scores in the standard defensive scoring format, something along 20 to 22 points for the San Francisco DST, and they're going to be the defense of the Thursday games. That's my assessment, and of course, anything can happen. This is football. It's really hard to get all these projections right, but this is my assessment of the 3 Turkey Day games. Keep in mind also, for anybody else wondering about, there's some potential concern that Dillon is also questionable, so they brought in James Robinson. Who knows if James Robinson will get any run? I'm not particularly interested in James Robinson, but I know a lot of people will probably comment and say, hey, Smitty, what do you think about James Robinson being brought in? I don't think much about him. I very rarely remember he's even either in the NFL or capable of being in the NFL. Now, because I said that, he's probably going to have a big day, so you might want to pick him up and start him. But Emmanuel Wilson was the potential backup in Green Bay who went on IR. So James Robinson was added to the active roster because Dillon's questionable, but Dillon is expected to play. James Robinson will probably get some run, but it's not something I expect to be helpful to anybody in week number 12. So happy Thanksgiving. Hope you all have a good Turkey Day. And we're live again. We're live on a live. As Superfish said, we're like in the Matrix. We're a show within a show. Who's to say this isn't within another show? And you have no clue. You don't know. I don't know. News has been done. Projections for Turkey Day have been had. And now it's time to get into Super Chat and phone call mode. First Super Chat of the day comes from G-Dog. You always get a standing O on the first Super Chat. Appreciate you very much for dropping the first Super Chat, my guy. 8-man PPR, start Tua or Purdy, McBride or Laporta. Probably leaning Laporta for now. I think McBride, one could say he maybe is safer, but I'm still going to. Rookies, as I always tell people, this is one thing you'll hear from me a lot, is that if this is week 1, this is week 17. It doesn't, pass catchers, it could be tight ends or wide receivers. Sometimes running backs as well follow the same pattern. But usually around like week 10 through like 14, there's this rookie wall. And even in the case of Swift, even though Swift's not a rookie, he in a sense has a rookie wall he's been kind of running into because it's been his first time taking the full workload. And so Swift was like, boom. And then he started to kind of tail off, and he kind of hit a drought. Swift may have broken through that rookie wall in week number 11 because he had a nice little performance and he looked smooth. And so in similar fashion, you know, Swift may have broken through what was a couple week thick, long rookie wall. But every rookie wall is different. Some rookies have a 10 to 14 week rookie wall that's so tough to get through, they get injured and they end up not getting through the rookie wall. Other rookies, and Jamar Chase did this his rookie year, had a huge rookie wall, just trying to barrel through that thing. And as soon as he broke through, remember, Smitty said over and over, trade for Jamar Chase, he'll win you a league. Trade for Jamar Chase, he'll win you a league. And he kept struggling over and over. And I had people like down my neck, are you sure about this? And he kept struggling. It was a big, huge, thick rookie wall that he couldn't get through. As soon as he broke through it, boom, exploded. What did Tank Dell do the last couple of weeks? Before, you know, kind of getting back into his groove, there was a little rookie wall. He broke through that rookie wall. Tank Dell is going to the moon. Rookies always hit a rookie wall. The great ones shovel through it. They push through it. It always ends up happening. And Laporta, even though he's a tight end, he is a pass catcher. He is inside a rookie wall. He's also got Gibbs pulling in a lot of work that normally goes his direction. Monty's back. There's a lot of reasons. J-Mo's back. There's a lot of reasons why he's potentially, you know, seeing less targets, but he still is going through that rookie wall. I think he is one of the good ones, and I think he does pile drive through the rookie wall and he has continued success. So keep that in mind. That is likely what is happening. It's just a matter of when does he break through and head on up. That's basically what we're doing. So you're trying to predict that breakout game. This is what Dell did. Took Dell a while to get through that rookie wall, and now Dell's exploding, and he's absolute maniac. James Cook or Charbonnet at the flex. I'm gonna go. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. Let me pull up the entire schedule and put that on screen here. Here's the Turkey Day games up in the top right corner. These are the rest of the schedule. Miami Jets Friday, and then the Sunday games right here. But James Cook is playing. He is. I think he's at away, right? Yeah, he's at Philly. That's a tough matchup. I'm gonna say Zach Charbonnet's got a tough matchup too. I'm going to say Zach Charbonnet, though. I feel like he gets the volume, and it's just a smarter play. But they're both pretty hard. The schedules are not conducive to big, huge, fat weeks, though, bro. Godwin or Garrett Wilson. I'm going to go Garrett Wilson, despite being very, very concerned about, what kind of dynamic is going to be in play in New York as they figure out if Boyle's the guy. The guy to stick with from week to week, at least. I mean, no one's expecting him to be amazing, but things have got to get better. Things have got to get better. I imagine Garrett Wilson has a shot at doing something, but I'm going to go ahead and put him in over a Chris Godwin, who's been pretty dormant all year long and been completely consistently inconsistent. Is Achane a must start if he plays? If he plays, absolutely. And you're going to get a lot of people. Like, I just want everybody to listen to what I'm going to say about this. I know I talk about it a lot. I'm doing super chats. I'm going to answer phone calls after the super chats. I got to get through the super chats, get them cleared off the docket, and then we'll open the phone lines, just so everybody knows. A couple people saying they've tried to call in. The phone lines are closed right now. I'll open them as soon as the super chats we're through them and we catch up. Listen to what I'm saying about Achane right now. Listen to what I'm saying. Let me put Achane on screen because this is important. And Achane practice in a limited fashion. This was a report that came out earlier. It said that he playing would be a mild surprise. And then the Achane news then broke. I think this is the other piece of Achane. No, that's the Warren news. Where's the other Achane news? I think this is it right here. Warren's a monster. Achane was a limited participant in practice. So semi-upgraded from the slight, mildly surprised if he played. Slight upgrade. You're going to hear a lot of negativity, even in this chat. And that's okay. And nobody's wrong for doubting him. It's okay. But I need everybody to listen to me when I say this. If you believed in him before this knee situation started brewing, don't let the negativity from people that don't own him, that are so excited that this didn't work out yet from the knee injury point on, because it means they're not getting pile drived into the ground by their opponents when they face this kid and they don't own him. You're not hearing any Achane owners talk negatively. You're hearing non-Achane owners. They're so excited. It's the craziest thing in the world. They're so excited this isn't working out the way that it could be working out, and it's fueling them into saying a lot of stuff that's making a lot of Achane believers start feeling skeptical. And it's sad to see, but I understand where it's coming from. But people that own him that are starting to freak out are letting the non-Achane owners freak them out. They're literally controlling your fears right now. They're injecting fear and doubt into your thought process. If he's playing, you're starting him. Let's say he was going to be very limited, then you probably go Charbonnet. But if he's playing, you're starting him. Unless there's a very, very clear indication he'll barely play. Running back 2 and a flex at a Kyren, Ramondre, Breece, and Tank. I'm going to go Kyren and I'm going to go Tank. That's a very, very easy call there. And it could go 100 different ways because you got a lot of good options there, but that's what I'm doing. Start 2, Boyd Bateman, Gabe Davis, Charbonnet. Downs, I'm probably going to go with Gabe Davis and Charbonnet. Downs and Charbonnet is interesting though, but I think I'm going to wait on that one. This one from Corey is just a plain blank $4.99 hauler. Appreciate you, Corey. Corey to the moon. Vampy with a 20 watt on screen. Vampy, you $20 hauler monster, you.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Vampy coming in strong. Josh Allen, love. Bijan, Swift. Swift looks good right now. He's bouncing back. He's gone through this rookie wall. Even though he's not a rookie, he's still experiencing the same type of thing. This wall that he went through. Swift appears to be broken out of it and on his way up. It's fantastic. So it's good to see. Lamb, Dell, Ridley. I love the trio. Laporta. Good. Should I trade Bijan plus Ridley for Amon-Ra? This is very, very close. Or replace Swift instead of Bijan, if possible. Or replace Swift instead of Bijan. Yeah, I would trade Swift and Ridley for Amon-Ra. Would I trade Bijan and Ridley for Amon-Ra? I'd say it's pretty even. That's where it's like either side looks really good. I think if you can put Swift, even though I love Swift, I love what Swift's doing right now. I think Swift did break through this little wall that he's been trying to get through because he's getting bogged down. He's not used to a full workload like this. I think he has broken through, but I still believe in Bijan enough that this could be Bijan's, 1/4 of the season where he just shows everybody what we've been waiting to see. Keep in mind how negative it felt, how pessimistic people were on Gibbs at one point, a big chunk of the season. We're talking like a quarter of the season. People were like, I shouldn't have spent a third round. Remember all the comments? Shouldn't have spent a third rounder. Can't believe I drafted Gibbs. This is absolutely ridiculous. Everybody in here right now saying Gibbs to the moon, Gibbs to Saturn. He's an absolute monster. Some of you were absolutely trash talking the man. Receipts were had. And I feel like a lot of people that have that, oh my God, Bijan, what a mistake. I think there's a heavy dose, I believe, of goodness coming. And I've got to believe in that. And I do believe in that. Elvis, appreciate you. Pick 2, Gibbs, Charbonnet, Achane, Kyren, B, Rob. Brian Robinson. Going Gibbs, and if Achane plays, you have a dilemma between Kyren and Achane. It really comes down to who looks like they're getting more work. So, Elvis, we have a dilemma on our hands if Achane plays. Right now, it sounds like it's leaning toward him sitting 1 week. So, Kyren and Gibbs would be the clear 2 players. And you got fantastic options. You might even have trade options you need to explore on that, my guy. Traded Dell for Jefferson, but got vetoed. That's stupid that they vetoed that, by the way. Quite honestly, Dell could outscore him. But it is what it is. Let the fantasy gods dictate that one for you and just roll Dell out there. But that's stupid that they're vetoing based on name and not production. Because JJ still has a shot at being a top 5-6 wide receiver. But is JJ wide receiver 1 right now? If he comes back? I don't know that you could easily say he's top 3. We don't know how he's going to mingle in this offense. We don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know how great he's going to be the first 1 or 2 games back. This is ridiculous that there are vetoes out there. You tell your commissioner to come see me. We need to send your commissioner through the Smitty Commissioner Boot Camp, which I will actually be creating classes on, and I will certify anybody that goes through the classes at the end. And you literally can say, we demand our commissioner to go through Smitty's boot camp commissioner classes, which will tell you vetoes are not allowed. If collusion takes place, it requires a 9 out of 12 or 10 out of 12 with the 2 people involved not being included vote in order to pass to overturn a collusion related trade. But in that, you kick the person out. If there's collusion decided so that a trade must be unraveled, that owner is gone. So if you're not kicking the owner out as you veto a trade, you are not allowed to veto a trade. That is called being an actual, grown up. Grown people, grown men and women playing in a fantasy league, putting their own money in, and you're telling somebody they can't like Tank Dell over JJ or JJ over Tank Dell? You can't tell somebody that they want Javonte Williams over JT if they want Javonte Williams over JT. How ashamed your mother is of you, commissioner of said league. It's absolutely ridiculous. Traded JT, Javonte Flowers for Bijan and DK and more. That should be vetoed. No, I'm just kidding. JT, Javonte Flowers, Bijan. That's pretty even. I mean, you could argue that one. I would say, like, at the end of the day, the JT Flowers side feels a bit safer, but the Bijan DK Moore side has more upside. I'm going to go Bijan side, but it's certainly arguable. Certainly arguable, my guy. Certainly arguable. $10 hauler.
To the moon.
$10 hauler from MCF. Traded Chase for Evans in Hollywood, or try Kenneth Walker Sharps Chase for Bijan Evans. I'd rather have Bijan Evans. I like that side a lot. Chase for Evans. I don't like the other one. I like the other one. Or am I dreaming? I think you could be dreaming, but I'd try. Worried about Chase since... Yeah, you should be worried about him. I think that's a good trade. I think going after, like, Adams and something, going after Achane and a wide receiver, going after ETN, potentially across position, going after, obviously a Lamb Chops or St. Brown. Those are all good moves for Chase if you got to get rid of them. But sometimes across position trades work well. Going after Kelsey works pretty well. Traded Walker, Stevenson, and Adams for Eckler and Evans. I like that Eckler-Evans side by quite a bit, bro. It's just more secure, more certainty there. I like it. Who should I start as my running back to, Ford, Cook, or Sharps? I'd go Ford. I feel like Ford has got... He's got good production. They trust him. He's getting the work. He's playing Denver. It's in Denver, but like Cleveland's going to need to lean on the run. They're worried about their quarterback situation and how to navigate and move the football down the field. The defense is carrying the team. The defense supports the run supports the D. It's going to be Ford for me, but certainly an arguable thing. Those are close calls. Sharps is really hard to sit, but it's a tough matchup. Have Kyler picked up Purdy and T-Law to block QBs for a QB-needy opponent. Traded Purdy to get ETN. May be able to get Hurts, Debo for Kyler Chase. I would take Hurts and Debo for Kyler Chase. There's arguments to be made on that. I don't think anybody's blasting anybody, but I'd certainly do that trade. Quinn with a dollar hauler. Quinn, appreciate your dollar hauler, pal. Nothing attached to it. Thank you so much, kind sir. This is G-Man. G-Man says, crazy to flex Beckham at Chargers over Charbonnet. Well, you talk about Odell. Wait, what? What are we talking about, bro? Odell's injured. What are we doing here? What are you saying, Chargers? Beckham. I don't know. You have to give me this. What's he talking about, chat? Chargers. What's he talking? Who's he trying to write? I'm trying to figure out what he's meaning to say. Yeah, Odell's banged up, and let me pull up Odell real quickly. First of all, Odell sold Flowers on that touchdown. That just absolutely crushed Flowers owners. Flowers owners were so upset. Not practicing to begin Week 12 prep work. Odell Beckham Jr. Beckham is by far had his best game. Blah, 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 blah. We don't know if he's healthy enough, bro. We don't know if he's healthy. G-Man, I wouldn't even come close to banking on this situation. I'm going... You got to make your decision early, right? San Francisco plays. You can't wait around for Odell, who's not practicing. And not to mention, he's always injured, bro. Give me Charbonnet without question, but I wouldn't be debating a guy that could potentially not be playing. I just want to make sure you had Odell as this piece here. Now watch Odell go out and play and be amazing, but not me, bro. Not when he's hurt. I just didn't know if you were talking about the same player. Flowers TD getting called back sucked. Smitty, I have 2 different leagues. Olave, Tank Dell, Moore, Chase. My other league, I have Ridley, Olave, Flowers, Chase. Choose 3 to start this week. Olave, Tank Dell, and probably actually Tank Dell, DJ Moore, and Chase probably in League One. I'd make a trade though. You shouldn't be putting Olave on the bench. And then this other one, Ridley, Olave, Flowers, Chase. I mean, probably. Jeez, bro. I don't know. I guess you're sitting. Flowers. I mean, you got to start Olave in one of these two. I guess you're sitting Flowers. You could sit Chase in the first one and start him in the second one, but I don't think I'm sitting Chase. I think he's just too big of a name. He's too hard to sit. You'd be regretting it all day long. I guess I would say what I said initially for the first group, and then I'd probably sit Flowers, which I hate sitting Flowers because Flowers is going to get a big uptick in production. You need to make a trade in both those leagues if possible because you're not going to get that right every week. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Skyward, 8-3.5, 1 flex, Hurts, Swift, Bijan, AJB, Puka, Hawkinson, JT, Kyron on the bench. Which 3 do I start out of Swift? Bijan and JT Hawkinson. Which 3 do you start of those guys? I mean, Hawkinson's dangerous to sit every week. I mean, look at that 100+ touchdown game he had there. I don't know, bro. If it's me, I'm sitting. I guess I'm sitting Swift, Bijan, JT Hawkinson. Let's look at matchups here. I think this is Bijan's breakout game, though. I'm really torn putting him on the bench. I'd say maybe Swift with his matchup. You put Swift on the bench. I guess that's really tough, bro. That's a really tough question. Trust your gut. Chat, what do you think on that? You sit Swift or Bijan? I just think Buffalo can be run on at time. Like, I'm not saying it's invincible. Vote on that one for me, chat, please. I need you. Got offered Diggs and Aaron Jones for Chase and Kamara. With Aaron Jones being banged up, that's tough. I'd say probably not. I'd say you're on the right track, but you're going after that injured player that I don't. If it was Achane, I'd do it, but I'm not. I don't know where Aaron Jones is at. I don't know what it's going to look like next week when they come out and say he's not playing again. He's not playing again. He's not playing again. I have Swift, Gibbs, Achane, Charbonnet for running back. Henry, Jacobson, Ford, and Kirk. Yeah, that's tough, bro. I'd say no. I'd say no. If it was a different RB, it'd be a different story. But no weekly rankings for week 12, says Anti-Slayer. No weekly rankings for week 12. I don't know what that means. You mean on my site? They're on there. Go check the homepage. They've been on there. They've been up pretty much most of the entire day and morning. Maybe the weekly rankings button isn't showing or something yet. I'll check that out. But go check the homepage. Every article is always on the homepage, right at the top, or they'll be in order. So go check that out, Slayer. It's been there. Thank you for the super chat, Ninja. What's good, yo? Some one traders away, JJ. What? Some one traders away, JJ for Eagles defense. Someone traded away. That's crazy. That's crazy. Is that manager straight up dumber than a bag of rocks, or is there some collusion? I don't know. I can't determine if there's collusion on that. I think that's a bad trade. I think when you have people that can't make good trades, you talk about maybe getting better quality owners, but I don't think I veto anything. If there's collusion going on, you got to do some sort of, look under the hood. Are these two people related? Like, what's going on here? Are you willing to kick two owners out because of this, or is this you just saying I don't like the trade? So you got to bring more to the table. You can call in. I'd like to talk to all three of you, which would be phenomenal. We'll do a fantasy football court session. Start 2: Ford, Ridley, Devonta Smith, Flowers, and Charbonnet. I'm going to go Ridley and Devonta Smith personally, but Howard, that's such a tough question. Those are really good. Efren, full PPR, pick 4, Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, Devonta Smith, Jamar Chase, and Ridley. I'm going to go Dell, Smith, Chase, and Ridley. Efren, that's a really tough question, though. Sitting players of that caliber on any level is a very tough thing to do. Do I flip Eckler, Evans, and Olave for Lamb, Bijan? Eckler, Evans, Olave for Lamb, Bijan. Give me Lamb, Bijan by a hair. By a hair. but very, very arguable. My bad. I meant Swift, Bijan, JT, Kyron. Skyward. I meant Swift, Bijan, JT, Kyron. Okay. I don't know what you're asking here. You got to re-enter the question because by the time I get back to it, I have no idea what we're talking about. Let me rank these for you. I think this is what you're asking. I'm going to say in this order, I'm going to say it's JT. It's probably Kyron, then Swift and Bijan Swift in that order because Swift has got a tough matchup. That's how I rank those bad boys. Apollo, appreciate you. Smitty, who would you start in a full PPR? JT, Monty, or Ayuk? Choose two. Give me Monty and JT. I know Ayuk just went crazy, but they do tend to rotate at times. Debo and Ayuk, it's very similar to the way Collins and Dell rotate at times, and I think that still could happen, but I really think Dell has taken a big step forward. Lamb, Dell starting. Kirk, Flowers, Godwin for flex. Give me Flowers. I think he gets fed a lot with Andrews out and, Odell hurt. I think that's a good play. Flowers is a great play. And Rick Moore with a 20.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Rick Moore with a $20 holler. My boy Rick says, hey, Smitty, 14 team, non-PPR, need a flex. Javonte, Addison, Reed, Downs. I'm leaning Javonte. Matchup not good. Denver, let's see, at Denver versus Cleveland. I think I'd go Addison over Javonte in this matchup with my concern about workload and Sean Payton knowing what he has in Javonte. I'd probably lean Addison, especially if it's PPR. This is non-PPR. Damn it. I guess non-PPR I lean Javonte. But that's super tough, man. And the scoring's the only reason I'm leaning that way. That's tough. That's really tough. All right, Marsman Rock Out. What is up, my guy? What can I do for you?
Yeah, I need 2 running backs and 2 flex. I got Bijan, Charbonnet, Javonte, and then I got McLaurin, Olave, and then Reed.
Bijan, let's go one at a time. Okay, say him again.
Bijan, Javonte, Charbonnet, Olave, and then McLaurin, and then Reed.
Hey, how many do you need?
I need 2 running backs, 2 flex.
Okay,
full PPR.
So Bijan, Charbonnet are your 2 running backs. Your 2 flexes are Olave, and I would say probably Scary Terry.
Scary Terry?
Yeah, probably. But that's
Olave, Scary?
Yeah, I mean the only dilemma is it is it Javonte or Scary Terry? I don't think that there's the dilemma anywhere else.
Yeah, so you would have Bijan and Sharp as your first 2 running backs?
Yeah, I would based on volume. Hey Slayer, by the way, Slayer, the link, the button for the Week 12 rankings should be showing right now. I don't know why. Sometimes it's on a schedule and it doesn't release it, or I don't know what it is. Refresh it. I cleared cache on it and everything. But it's always check the homepage for the articles that are always released. I always release an article on anything that I add. Yeah, it's clear cut. Basically, bro. I mean, it's Bijan, it's Sharbs, it's Olave, and then it just comes down to Scary Terry or Javonte. That's your dilemma.
Right,
but
right.
I don't know which one. I lean toward, if it's PPR or half PPR, I lean toward the receiver. Because it's a tough matchup for Javonte.
Just not sure about the volume of Javonte. Maybe give it a week.
All right, hang tight real quickly. Julio from Cali, you're live on the show, pal. Hello, Julio.
Yeah.
What's up, Julio?
What's up, buddy? Quick question. I want to see which players I should start receivers wise. So I have okay, there we go. I have Chase, Deebo Samuel, Olave, and I got Ridley.
Okay.
And how running backs? I also have Pacheco, White, and I have Charbonnet.
Okay. What's the question?
Which receivers would you start out of those 3? So I don't know if I should go maybe So far I have Chase, Debo Samuel, and Olave in. I don't know if I should put in Charbonnet, Ridley.
Sharps has a tough
Pretty much one other option.
Sharps has a tough matchup. Rashad White's always a solid play, especially in PPR, half PPR. I mean, I would lock in Debo and Chase, honestly, but if it were me, I mean, this is a dilemma. I mean, you're going to get this wrong every single week. Chat, vote on Olave, Ridley, or Rashad White. Sharps is nice, but I don't... Or throw Sharps in there. Sharps, White, throw Pacheco in there. Pacheco, White, Sharps, Olave, Ridley, pick one. Which is like, bro, you need to get on the horn and make a trade. If the trade deadline's passed, you missed a huge opportunity to get rid of this dilemma.
I actually traded Walker for Debo. And I kept Sharps.
I mean, I like the trade, but I still you gotta get rid of the surplus. You're like this is like overstock.com right here. Like, what are you doing?
Trade line is over. It's over. At this point, I can't even trade.
Yeah, but what I would have done is, I bet you anything, you were trying to get these even Steven deals. You had to just overpay. Like, hey, bro, I'm going to give you like 3 players for one. I just need a slight. I need the best player in the deal, but I'll give you these 3 players. I think what a lot of people do is they try and just nickel and dime people, and then the trade deadline passes, and now you've got a weekly dilemma that you're 100% going to get wrong every single week. Every single week. We got White over all those. Pacheco, Kyron is still on IR. Kyron is elevated. I'm gonna play, bro. Pacheco, White, Charbonnet. Update on Cup. There's no real update on Cup at all. There's nothing.
So if you had to choose Olave or Ridley, who would you go with?
If it were me, I would go with Ridley.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he's coming off a big game. I feel like they're using him the way that we've wanted them to use him. I feel like it's go time. It's go time. It's Kyron time. Kyron time, everybody in the chat. Kyron time. I wish I could tell you I was really confident in this answer, but I'm not. Like, I go Ridley, but what the hell do you do, bro? White's solid, Pacheco's solid, Sharps is solid, Olave solid, Ridley. This is a dilemma that I think could have got you into from a Jamar Chase into, you could have traded 1 or 2 of these guys that you're not going to use on a weekly basis to get out of Jamar Chase, and you could have maybe got Tyreek Hill, who's been slumping, Diggs, who's been slumping. I would have given up easily any one of those players that you're debating on being your third for a Chase to Diggs bump, just to get out of that messy situation. That's all I'm saying. You can't do anything about it, so I'm not trying to like rub salt in the wound, but just for next time, don't cling on to your value so much when you're walking into that deadline. Chase is a mess, right? Like a scary situation, in my opinion.
Gotcha. And one more question. This is my other league, but if you had to start, because I pretty much have Tank Dell and Singletary, and I have Kamara and Olave. So I'm thinking about if I should do Dell and Singletary, or will you put Dell, Kamara, and Olave instead of Singletary?
Dell, say it one more time. Dell, Kamara, what?
So I have Dell, I have Kamara, I have Singletary, and I have Olave.
Okay.
I also have Amon Ra on the team. I don't know if I should start Singletary or Olave in this week.
Okay, so it's just, that's the question. Okay, I don't need to have that other information. Let's see here. Singletary, Olave. I mean, safety, Singletary's been doing it. Like, the smart money's on Singletary. He's 2 games in a row. The offense is phenomenal. It's just humming. If they're down, they're going to score a lot. If they're up, they're scoring a lot. It's hard for me to sit Olave. It really is. But I think Singletary's a smart play. It's just like, there's volatility in New Orleans. Like, if I want to use my heart, I'm like, yeah, put Olave in. We've been putting so much, we've been, ramping him up, talking him up so much, and all off season long, even during the season. And he's played really well. It's just been some volatility that's knocked him off the mantle. of being an elite wide receiver. I believe he really still is. I think Olave, talent-wise, is like a top 6-7 wide receiver in the National Football League. And I think that could come to fruition in the coming seasons, but he's got a really crappy situation. And if Winston's starting, he's unbelievable. But Carr's been making progress. The last I read on Carr, he was making progress, so I don't know what that's going to look like for his tip-off. But I would say, like, at this moment in time, Singletary's pretty damn safe, bro. Does anybody disagree, Singletary? I mean, everything I'm seeing, Carr is looking on pace. Derek Carr, which is awful news. I mean, no offense, Derek Carr, but we want Winston in there. The moment Winston got in, the first pass was a touchdown throw to Olave. It was crazy, bro. Derek Carr, early word on Derek Carr, the latest word on Derek Carr is that no eating W's on Thanksgiving. Let's see here. Saints head coach Dennis Allen said that Derek Carr was a full participant in practice, which suggests he's progressing well through the protocol. It sounds like he's going to play. There's no for sure 100% certainty that Derek Carr is playing, but it sounds like he's going to play. All right, got to go, bro. Appreciate you, Julio. Next up is Marsman Rock Out. I already went to Marsman. Hold on, Marsman Rock Out. John, you're live. You got 30 seconds, John. Go ahead.
Hey, would you trade Garrett Wilson and Charbonnet for Cooper Kupp? I kind of feel like Charbonnet might, like I have him in every league, but I feel like he might be a bit of a sell since Walker is coming back.
I think if you can afford to wait on this one, like injuries, no concern right now. Sitting out a week or two is no concern right now. Then I think Kupp is Kupp is interesting. If you said you already got Sharps in a ton of leagues, you're not going to miss out on this train if it ends up, going full speed ahead, and we're all just so damn excited about it because we love Charbonnet here. We're a big Charbonnet community. But this is a decent move if this team is good to go waiting on this, because Kupp could take a week or two. We don't know.
Yeah, in this one league, I'm second, and I'm already guaranteed to make the playoffs. That's why I'm thinking about it.
Dude, swing away. Merrill, swing away.
Right on.
All right.
I appreciate you, man.
Later, John. Appreciate you back. All right, Ninja, you're live.
Yeah, no, I'm just calling. I don't have any questions. Just like, after I had told him about, like, the JJ and defense, like...
What, Ninja, what are we talking about? You act like I remember what in the hell we're talking about.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, so, somebody in my league, they had traded away Justin Jefferson for the Eagles defense.
Oh, okay. I remember that now. So you super chatted about that or something. JJ for the Philly defense. Okay. Keep in mind my ability to hold like a question or something is going to be hard because of all that. We have 1,000 messages already in the chat so far tonight. Okay. JJ for Philly. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So I'll just like tell him about that, and then they just go around and tell me that you're the one I colluded because I traded K9 and Charbonnet for Adams. I'm like, yo, how is that colluding? I said, I'm looking out for both of us, and that like makes like no sense that I'm colluding.
So you traded K9 and got Adams, and let me just be frank with you right now. I do this for a living. I do this for a living. This is what I do. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying I'm the be all end all of anything, or the judge and jury and executioner of every single thing on this planet Earth that relates to fantasy football. But I do this for a living, bro. A living. And I have no idea what side they're vetoing. I have no clue. Are they vetoing the K9 Sharp side? Because I could understand somebody saying that side's better. What are you doing, the RBs? Or are they vetoing the Adams side, who struggled all year and everybody's been doubting him? I have no clue. You told me they believe that might be veto material. I have no clue what side they want to veto, if they were even saying that one of these sides. What in the hell are they talking about? Now, this one right here is awful. But K9 and Adams, how the hell does anybody say one of these sides is outweighing the other? I have no clue, Ninja. I have no clue. This right here, this is bad. This is a horrible trade. I still don't believe in vetoes, though. What I would say is the person that took the Philly defense and got rid of JJ might be a questionable person to have in your league if they're the kind of person that makes stupid trades and ruins the league, trade after trade. I'm all about letting grown men and women make their own trades. They pay their money, they get in. But how in the hell are we talking about this right here? They're gonna point a finger at you and say K9 Adams when I don't even know which side they don't like.
Yeah, no, it's just and this person that did that trade, next year will be the 4th year in a row that he's picking number 1. He always picks all the players. He's a big Bears fan, so he picks all the Bears players. And then he had JJ, and earlier, right when he was on IR, I said, you know what, I'll offer you Dell, the tight end from Dallas, and K9 for JJ. And he turned it down. And then when I brought it up yesterday, he's like, I'm in sell mode right now, so it makes no sense to have players that'll help other players out.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes no sense.
I mean,
at all.
bro, call your commissioner on three-way. I'll talk to him right now.
I wish I could, but
everybody says
he's
that.
Even the one.
Nobody does.
He's even the one that said. He's actually the one that said that. He's like, you're the one that did some clues, and I said, mother, hell no, I did not.
Yeah, whatever. All right, Ninja.
Yeah,
anything else?
No, just venting. Thanks, Vinny.
All right, later. I have no idea what's still to this moment which side they didn't like, the Adams side or the Walker side. Like, it's so frustrating. Anthony W, bringing a W into the chat, bro, or into the call.
What up, Smitty? This is Wayne Sky, aka Devon A. Chan's biggest hater. That's not what I'm calling for, though. I am calling because I have 2 questions. I have 2 dilemmas. The first one is I don't know who to start between Josh Dobbs and Justin Fields this week. I'm leaning towards Fields, because of the rushing upside, but also Dobbs has the rushing upside. They're playing against each other. So
I would probably say Fields for me, but I mean, anything's possible. The moment I use Fields, he doesn't. I'm sorry. The moment I use Dobbs, he doesn't do well. I don't know. I feel like he's got a lot of upside, but this guy has the ability. Fields. I'm circling Fields or putting a square around him. This guy has the ability to be like QB1, QB2, QB3 for like multiple weeks in a row. So like you could swing and be right on Dobbs and look like a genius, or you could roll with the player that has proven in back-to-back weeks this season at one point to be like, QB 1, 2, or 3 back-to-back weeks. I just say give me Fields, and the matchup's not, the matchups are both solid for both of them to do well. The game script should be well. The fact that he had a 100-plus yard rushing game was really nice to see because, we saw him not necessarily do it through the air, and then we need that running there in case that happens. It was nice to see that it still exists, that he can still do it, that they're not going to hold him back from that 100-plus rushing yard affair. I'm going Fields, but that's me.
I think this is a big breakout game for DJ Moore, but that's just what I think.
I mean, he does well whenever Fields is in the game.
He does. And my second question is, this is a 2 wide receiver, 2 running back league. I have Ridley, I have Chris Olave, I have Eckler, I have Mostert, I have Jonathan Taylor, Ty Chandler, Josh Downs, and Deontay Johnson. So far I have Ridley, Olave, Eckler, Mostert, and JT in. I'm kind of nervous about Josh Downs' knee dilemma.
Hit me with the dilemma. Hit me with the question. Because we're trying to keep it to 30.
The dilemma. Yeah. So the dilemma is just starting Ridley, Downs, Mostert, or Johnson. Really, like in the flex/wide receiver.
Yeah.
Who would you not start? That's my dilemma.
For me, it'd be between Ridley and Mostert. I'd say Ridley's kind of proven, I think, his worth right now. I really believe that they're using him properly. Keep in mind that like Ridley, what people don't know about Ridley is he's not going to ever be consistent. Like this is a guy that, especially when Zay's injured, they send They send Ridley downfield to stretch it out so Kirk gets all the easy short yardage stuff. And so whenever they have their full arsenal of wide receivers on tap, Ridley gets to do a combination of everything, and that's when he does well. When he's getting these like very low percentage conversion, streaks over and over and over, like here's a go route, stretch the defense, and they do target him, but when you don't connect, then he has a bad game. He's very up and down. He's always going to be that way, but right now with the full arsenal on tap, he's going to see a good combination of everything, and that's why he had a 2-touchdown, 100-yard game. Ridley's on point right now. Mostert is banged up, but I think that with Achane maybe trending toward not playing this one more week, he's a solid play for sure, and he's always capable of 100 yards and 2 or 3 touchdowns in this Miami Dolphin offense. So it's a dilemma. I think Ridley's maybe earned the start, but Mostert's certainly a huge risky sit and has a ton of upside. I mean, this is a tough one. I don't know that there's a good answer. You really should be starting.
So you want to put in Downs for Mostert just to be on the safe side for volume?
No,
because Jeff Wilson's back.
Downs is coming back from an injury too. I don't know that he's any safer than a banged up Mostert. And Mostert plays, he's going to get volume. So, no.
Okay. Well, my last thing I want to say is y'all can do better than Devon Achane. Thanks.
Wait, hold on. Say that one more. Oh, no.
Finish him.
You guys see what I'm saying about these Achane haters? They're just haters because they don't own him. Like Anthony W. is so jealous that he doesn't own Achane. He's so full of regret that he has to come in here and try and stir the pot, and at the end leave. You all can do better than Devon Achane. What is that? What a ridiculous statement. First of all, you all can do better than Devon Achane. Literally, that statement in itself tells you how ridiculously desperate he is in his mind to go get him and not be able to go get him. Where you're not just saying, I think he'll get hurt, or I'm not sure he's going to continue to do well, or you can do better. That get rid of him, cut him. Anybody that says cut Devon Achane, you can do better than Devon Achane. They literally are full with so much regret. They're seeping out of their pores of regret for not seeing him coming, and it makes them so sad inside to be like, I didn't see this. I didn't know he was this good. It makes me feel like not a good fantasy owner because I didn't see him coming. How can I be good at what I do if I didn't see this guy coming out of nowhere? I've got to root against him. I got to root against him. I can't be in favor of Devon Achane. I got to literally come in here and say, you all can do better than Devon Achane. What a hater. What a Devon Achane hater. Absolutely ridiculous. Just telegraphing how regretful you really are. Insane. All right, let's go over to Travis Rowe, and then we got, I believe, Ron Navy. I'm sorry, Travis and Ron. Vampy's been waiting a long time. I don't know if you guys care if I go to Vampy real quickly. Is that okay? Okay. Vampy, what's up, my guy? You haven't called in a little while. Appreciate you.
I know. How we doing, Smitty?
Good. How's that kneecap? Fully recovered?
I would say so, yeah. I would say pretty close to 100%.
Attaboy.
But yeah, I was just calling to reference the trade that I super chatted you earlier about. It was, he offered me Amon-Ra, and I would be giving up Bijan and Ridley. But I was able to work him down to him giving me Amon-Ra. I would be giving up Ridley, Javonte, and Khalil Herbert. And I feel like that's a smash, but
Ridley, Javonte, and Khalil Herbs. Okay, yeah. As much as I love Ridley, he's still, as I said, up and down volatile player. You got to take the Amon-Ra side and just run, smash.
Yeah,
still getting value.
Yeah, because he would. Ridley is my flex right now, so Amon-Ra would be my flex.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love smash.
Yeah, I'm just still laughing at the Achane hate, bro. It's just so. It's so obvious. It's like nothing else. It would be one thing. It would be one thing if it was like, I just don't like that. I don't like the fact that he's always getting banged up, or it's the way people they go to this extreme they like go over this line and be like, "You can do better than HN." Like, what a comment. What a comment. Oh, it's just crazy, bro. It makes me laugh. I just don't understand it. It's all regret. I mean, I understand it. The psychological breakdown of this is amazing too. No one's talking about why the Devon HN hate group is so big. It's all regret. It's all just big fat regret. Big sad face with a little tear. I didn't get him. I didn't get Devon HN. I'm upset. Anyway. Vampy, what else you got?
No, that's all. I mean, I made a bunch of trades today, but that's all I needed your feedback on. I just feel like I feel like it's a smash. I just wanted to double check with you. So
yeah.
Hope you have a great Thanksgiving.
Hey, Vampy, appreciate you, pal.
All right.
Later.
All right. Take care. All right. Bye.
Let's go over to Travis Rowe, then to Ron Navy. And then we got a full lineup of calls here. So Travis, as quick as you can.
Yeah, just a couple quick ranked Javonte, Ford, and Charbonnet. How would you rank them?
Javonte, Ford, and Sharbs. I think we had a similar question to this earlier, and my answer remains is that Ford feels like first of all, they got an amazing defense still there in Cleveland, and the defense is trying to win games single-handedly, and I think Ford's an integral part of that, and I think that they're going to use him. They're going to utilize him as much as they can. Javonte is a talent, amazing talent, but we've seen them game script out Javonte. We've seen them rotate 3 RBs. We saw him catch a receiving touchdown the week prior to this last week, and that got everybody excited, right? But like, what do we say going into the week when these dilemmas came up? It's like, as much as I'm excited about Javonte, and I really think it could be a potential unveiling or unraveling of people's hopes for Javonte, that Sean Payton's still rotating 3 RBs, not 2, rotating 3 RBs, and it feels like he doesn't know what he has in him. Sharbs is absolutely fantastic gem of a RB that we loved, and we this is a top 10 running back to this community going into the draft, and just because he got drafted onto that Seattle Seahawks roster doesn't change our evaluation of his ability and ceiling value if he's getting a starting job somewhere. So now that he's got it, it's fantastic, but his matchup is pretty bad. But, vulnerable. Like the Niners defense has been vulnerable at times all year. They seem to have put it together, and then you mix in the offensive continuity right now, and then that makes the defense a little bit better. It's that cascade effect. So he does have a tough matchup. It's definitely he's got the ability to maybe still do well with it, but if the game gets out of hand, he needs all of his production, which could happen, to be through the air, which could happen. But Ford is just kind of consistent. So Ford for me, Ford's the easy safe call. But Sharbs is definitely exciting, and I wouldn't blame you one bit for putting him in.
All right. That said, can I just run a quick trade value with a couple of those players?
Yeah.
It would be, I would be trading Charbonnet, Kincaid, and let's say JSN. And I'd be getting back Flowers, Javonte, and McBride, the tight end.
No.
You don't like that?
No. First of all, Kincaid
more, right?
Kincaid over McBride for me. JSN and Javonte, there's no difference right now, in my opinion, to be honest with you. I love Javonte, but I just don't know that I trust how they're going to use him. I hope I'm wrong on that. I will be rooting for Javonte the moment we feel like there's no sort of rotation. I'd be all for it. But like JSN, let's say DK and Lockett keep getting banged up. Lockett's 87 years old. They keep getting banged up. At some point, if JSN's starting, this will be like a JSN party up in this mug. So like I just rather just hang on to that. And the fact that Flowers, look, Odell's hurt, but this is not necessarily out yet. And Andrews is out for the year. Maybe comes back in the NFL playoffs, but that's even being shot down now, I think. So Flowers is exciting, but Sharps is a little bit more exciting. Flowers might be more long-term because Andrews is out for the year and Walker is not out for the year. But at the end of the day, I just don't see the upside.
Yeah, 'cause, I was trying to get Flowers, but he wants to do Flowers for Kincaid straight up, and I don't really want to do that. So.
Nope.
All right.
All right,
I'm all set then. Thanks, buddy.
Travis, you can hang on the phone too because I think we're gonna keep some people on here. Let's go to Ron, Navy.
I'm gonna jump for now. I might call back in
All
a
right.
few minutes.
All right, thanks.
Like a little bit. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah. Ron,
Hey,
what's up?
what's up? Flex position, Charbonnet or Metcalf?
Woo! Same game, same opponent.
Yeah.
You know, I probably say I lean DK because I think they will be down. It'd be one thing if Seattle was rocking right now and Geno was, not writing back, but Geno's been writing letters every single day recently. He's that's all he's doing is writing back. I just don't know, and you could say that's a bad thing for DK though, but I just don't know that this team will be in it long enough to run the ball. So Sharp has to do it all via the air, which he could definitely do. He's a very capable PPR guy. Everybody's always said, they drafted him because they love how he can catch the ball. We all know that Walker could catch as well as anybody in the National Football League, whether they use him that way or not. But Sharps has some really, I would say, man, I don't know. This one's tough because, DK's been banged up. Geno's been looking like trash, but DK looked really hungry and played well last week. If it's PPR or half PPR, I lean toward DK. But if you told me you're starting Sharps, I could throw my pen down right now and go, I'm in. It's that close.
Yeah. Well, that's why I asked, because I'm having a hard time going. But I think a little differently. My projection for the game, I think San Francisco has a defensive letdown this week. I think they're going to look past Seattle in Seattle, and they're going to be focusing, looking at Philly coming up on the following game. And I think Seattle shocks San Francisco, and we're going to see these same 49er fans calling for the defensive coordinator's head again. It's only been 2 weeks. I mean, they played Tampa Bay, so what? That's not a big deal. And they played, I'm not really impressed with Jacksonville's offense. I don't think they're that dynamic. T-Law's doing great. He's running the ball a lot, but as far as their overall offense, I don't think it's that dynamic. So I really don't think San Francisco had a hard time playing defense against them. I think San Francisco defense is going to be in question in Seattle this week. That's just my prediction. So, but I just don't know who's going to go off. I don't know if it's going to be Metcalf, who's injured all the time, or if Charbonnet is going to just take this opportunity and run the heck out of the ball.
Yeah. Fire emoji. Just real quickly, there's still some lot of Achan chatter in the chat. Fire emoji equals Achan believer. Let's just see how much we can get going in the chat here. And then thumb down emoji, or no, we'll do an X emoji equals Achan hater, or Achan just not a fan. All right, so drop that in the chat. I'd love to just see it rain for a while. Let's just see how many people in here are just so anti Achan. It's so crazy. All right, so Ron, what else you got? Warren, give me a projection for Warren this week.
I think Warren again. I think Cincinnati can be run upon. I think they're going to have to. So I think he gets over 100 in a tutty.
Say it again.
I think he gets over 100 combined yards, receiving, rushing, over 100 yards, receiving, rushing, and a touchdown.
Okay. I think the call volume is actually working again. Have you guys been hearing the callers the whole show? Talk for me again, Ron.
You want me to talk about Warren?
No. I was just making sure. I think the audio levels have been good the rest of the show.
I've heard everybody. I've heard all the callers. No
Okay,
problem.
Good. I think I got the volume thing squared away and fixed. I had to use that little amplifier just to get it going. But
I know you were having problems. There was a hard time hearing the callers the other day. But...
Yeah, it looks like we're back, which is fantastic. It's been a drag on the last week and a half of the show to have to try and figure out when it was happening, when it wasn't. Warren. Is it crazy? Like, this would be a little bit reckless to say on Warren, but I'd like to have a Warren discussion real quick. So Warren, let's do this. 2023. Please take your Steelers hat off. I know you're wearing it right now. That old ratty marine. What is it?
Actually, I'm not wearing it right
Okay. Which I like. I like the hat, by the way. It's like an army, or it's a marine hat, right? It's
camouflage.
Yeah. It's got Niner. It's got a Steeler logo on it. I love the hat, but when you have it on, I feel like you're just going to be okay. So 2023 Warren. I just want to have this little. This is like one of those players that could easily be on our Mars Men, Moon Men list walking into next year. But I just want to have a very honest discussion. Top 5 running back, or 6 to 10 running back, or later. I want to get the chat vote. If the chat could drop like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10, tell me in 2023 where you're going to rank Jaylen Warren. And if it's 5, 6, I just want to know. I want to get a general consensus in the chat. First, I want to start off with Ron Navy. What running back rank is he for you in 2024? I put 2023. I meant 2024.
I'll be a little conservative and say 6 to 10.
Okay. So give me a number. You got to give me one number. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
8.
So you're saying 8. Ron says 8. We got a 14. We got a 9. We got a 5. We got a 6, we got a 9, we got a 12, we got an 8 to 9, we got a 20, says Mark. We got not top 10, we got number 2 for AC, 15, 15, 13, 16, 20 to 25, 15, 10 to 15, 6 to 10, 6 to 7, 9, 10, 12. I would say the average feels like it's 8 to 10, based on what I'm reading. Yeah. I could be wrong. Let's say 8 to 10. Or 8 to 11. That seems to be.
I mean, he's definitely proven himself, and they didn't start using him a lot until mid season. So
I will.
Gone up. If it stays going up, then he could go to the moon. If he's got to fight with Najee more next year, then it's.
I will.
To 10 then.
I will say this. I think this 8 to 12, 8 to 11, 8 to 12. We'll put 8 to 12. This 8 to 12 ranking feels very understandable. I will say that he feels like one of those players that we could be super high on, like Olave, even though those are wide receivers, but the sophomores from this year where they've taken a while, Watson. He feels like he could be very much in that bucket of player that we're so high on because of talent, but his situation we're not accounting for as much. And it ends up being a drag. So like maybe he's a better, let someone else draft him high. If he struggles, we scoop him up before things get figured out. I'm not saying I won't be behind him. I'm just saying he feels like he might be one of those players we got to decipher. Is he going to be a letdown because of the surrounding situation, or is he going to be that guy? He very much feels like he's borderline Gibbs, or like Dotson, like Watson.
Swift type of running back.
It's going to be tough, man. Going to be tough. All right, Ron, appreciate you, man. What?
Swift is having a hell of a year. I was totally wrong on Swift this year.
Yeah, remember how mad you got about him? Remember how mad you were about Swift?
Oh, I know. But Kamara really hasn't been that impressive, but Swift has.
Kamara was. Kamara's tailed off a little bit, but Kamara's still been very, very good all year. It's just lately he has.
They're using Hill more, Taysom Hill more.
Yeah,
I think he's taken away some stuff from him, but yeah, Swift. I can't say nothing bad about Swift this year. He's doing the job. So
yeah.
Anyways, get on to your callers.
All right, later on.
Later, chat.
Later, guys. Hang tight, callers. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna go to Slime. Actually, yeah, Slime and Ricardo and Balake and Rock Out and everybody else on the phone line. Please hang tight for me real quick. Let me just get some of these super chats out of the way. Jamar for Brees and Thielen. I would take I think you should go after a different package for Jamar Chase. I think Brees is more the same. So I think I like where your head's at to try and maybe maneuver, but I don't know if that's the one. Smitty, sit one, Achane, Brees, Gibbs, or Kamara. You got to sit Achane until we're told he's starting. But let's say he's a full go without limitations. I'm going to sit Brees Hall in this particular moment in time this week, etc. Johnny, $5 hauler, start Kyren over Brees or Monty this week. I think Monty's really safe. I think Kyren is a hard player to sit. Johnny, I'm not going to tell you to sit one of them. I can't muster it up. But I will say, in a vacuum, I'm probably starting Monty until Kyren 100%, proves himself to be startable over Monty. But he's certainly somebody I wonder if you could squeeze into your flex. Amy, appreciate you. One wide receiver, one flex. Dell, Nico, Lundy. I'm going to go Dell. And then Gibbs, Monty, Kyren. I'm going to go, and wow, Barkley. Wow, you got two running backs, one flex, and one wide receiver. And then two running backs. Okay, so I think I got you. So I'm going to go Dell and probably Nico. And just that way you're covering your bases too. I think they both can do well together. And then two RBs, I think is what you're asking here. So Gibbs and Monty, Kyren, Barkley. I'm probably going. How do you sit one of Gibbs or Monty though? Barkley coming off a huge game. Kyren hard to sit. So badly want to play one of those guys. If you can play Kyren as the flex though, instead of like Nico, then I'm doing that. If not, I guess I'm going to go Gibbs and Monty. But that's a really, really tough call. Pick top three: Herbert, Hunt, Higgins, Spears, Downs, Deontay, Rashee Rice, Chuba, Pickens, Douglas. I'd probably say my top three, and I'm assuming that's Khalil Herbert, obviously. I'm going to say is probably, I don't know. I guess I go Pickens, Higgins, and maybe Hunt because he's scoring time. No, Khalil. Probably Khalil is my third. But that's like a grab bag. They're all kind of the same player. Just Sherman, Sharbs or Garrett Wilson, half PPR. I probably lean Charbonnet for volume in this one, but that's a really close call. This one here from NPR, trade away Monty and Sharbs for Hawkinson and Dobbs. I'd rather have Monty and Charbonnet, but obviously it depends on what you got going on at tight end, but I definitely still think I do that. Worldwide says, who you like better off waivers, Jaden or Shaheed? I go Jaden. Jaden's playing great. How now that Thomas is on IR, how much more do you like Shaheed? I like Shaheed a lot more, but I still think Jaden Reed he's just phenomenal. He looks really, really solid right now. And I just think that Jordan Love will lean on him more with Musgrave out. Smitty, I'm 6-5. Trade deadline coming. 10 team half PPR. Dak, JT, Gibbs, Keenan, Ayuk, Kelsey, Monty, Bench, Cooper, Kupp, Ridley. What trades? I don't know. I would probably say getting rid of Ayuk on the high with like a Monty or a potential Ford or Garrett Wilson would be smart. If you let's say you can go get like a Diggs. Diggs is very undervalued right now. I love going and trading for Diggs. I think Tyreek Hill is still a little bit hard to get, but still somehow, some way people trade him. Like, I've seen him traded a lot lately. He's traded quite a bit just because I think people that have had him have been struggling the last couple of weeks when he's kind of had a couple down weeks. And if people are trying to get into the playoffs, they have to divide and conquer, as we say. So just poke around and see if maybe that owner's in desperate need of multiple players. They've been hit hard by it. You never know. You got to look at the team. Does a Hill owner or a CMC owner have nobody? Did they get decimated with injury? And you have this extra piece that they could add to their arsenal. Past that, I really like this team. I think, I'd try and couple Garrett Wilson Ford. I'd try and couple Ayuk and Ford. Just get a slightly, get a nice, like JJ would be interesting for you using the depth, because normally, teams that don't have, they have to have 7, 8, 9 wins in order to be a good candidate for trading for JJ. But given you got so much depth, you could just trade some of it that you're not using for JJ, like an Ayuk and Ford or a Ridley and Ford for JJ. JJ would be a great player to go get. ETN I like a lot as a buy low. Bijan a good buy low. I think Feeney used some of that depth to get one of those guys. Murph offered Pacheco for my Gus Bus. I would take Pacheco personally, but there's arguments to be made. Their Gus Bus is playing good, but I'd take Pacheco. Offered a trade. I received Cooper Kupp, JT, Javonte Williams, Seahawks. I give up Browns D, Tajay Spears, Najee, and Chris Olave. I would definitely take the Javonte Kupp JT side by 100,000 miles. There's nothing but Chris Olave on that other side of the fence. So that other side crushes. This one here from Lance. Lance with a $5 hauler and then an additional, looks like another super chat. Let me find this one from Lance. Hold on, Lance. Lance says, now one more super chat and I'll go to the phone calls. Warren or Pacheco rest of the season? I'm going to take Warren. Warren's absolutely looking phenomenal. Again, we did this 2024 ranking, which was very interesting, that the average vote seemed to be around 8 to 12 for RBs in 2024. But I think for 2023, we can settle in on him being in 6 to 10, 6 to 8 range. I really do. Where would you value Marvin Harrison Jr. in first rounds? I would definitely put him number 1 overall, number 2 overall, no doubt. Would I give up 2 or 3? I'd for sure give up 2 unknown first rounders for him. Even if I felt like they could maybe be mid to early, I'd give up 2 first rounders easily. Would I give up 3? Maybe. Depends on what my team looks like, but he's phenomenal, bro. Torn between Charbonnet on Thursday or playing either Achane or Jeff Wilson with the Ahmed IR, Mostert hurt. Friday, other running backs are Eckler and Hall. Charbonnet's safer right now, but I can't tell you whether that's going to backfire on you or not. To not play Charbonnet, if Achane is still up in the air, then you might have a clear indication as to what's going to happen. If Achane was playing and you knew that before kickoff, then I'd probably sit Charbs. But I think you got to play him if you're unsure at that point. If Kyron's playing Kyron or Hall, I'm going Kyron. Kyron's just a phenomenal play. Let's go over to Slime. Slime, how is the bird? How is Sway? Give me good news.
Hey, what up, brother? I think he got the A-Rod treatment, man. Like, all of a sudden, this dude's coming back full swing. Like,
Sway to the moon.
To the moon.
Hold on, let me go grab him. I've been remodeling the kitchen right now, so he kind of took off. But he actually requested one of his favorite things in the world is ruffling paper.
Sway wants me to ruffle paper? Look,
ruffle paper or plastic.
This sounds like a little.
Like he hates plastic, dude. Like he's a liberal out of Colorado.
This sounds like an OnlyFans request or like some sort of like ASMR or whatever the hell it is. But for Sway, I'm gonna do it. For anybody else, I wouldn't do this BS. But here we go.
If you got plastic, that's what he prefers, dude.
I got paper right here. Let's do it live. Is he there?
Yeah, he's right here. He's
right,
on the shoulder.
Sway.
He's next to the...
Here, little birdie.
Here. What do you mean?
Here, little birdie. Here, little birdie. Little birdie. Little birdie. I love you, Sway. Stay strong.
Bro, he's definitely the coolest, man. Like I said, I almost had you buying a bird once you found about Sway.
Yeah, hey, I swear.
First and foremost, to all the humans out there, like, we're a family, we're a community, we got to share this together. Other than that, it is trade season. It's the last week. I told you I have a stacked team of like redundancies on all positions. So I got a few quality trades to ask you. A lot of them are our players. Do we give them away, or what do we do for these moves?
All right, hit me with it.
You ready?
Yeah, real quickly. Hold on one second. Perps, I see someone saying Perps made a bad move. Perps, call into the phone line. We can discuss what trade you made. You're saying you guess you made a bad move. I want to know what it is. As for Sway, I'm glad Sway's back to good health. This is one of my biggest followers and watchers. Sway watches apparently every show I have. So Sway to the moon. Glad Sway's doing well. All right, hit me with your question.
Thanks to the community as well, for sure. I know your time is precious. Time is money for you, brother. So, quarterback question. I'm getting a lot of action on Dobbs. I have Jalen Hurts, Dobbs, and Love. I need a wide receiver. I've been talking about this all season. So I got people offering like Waddle plus for Dobbs. I know Hurts hurt me last season in the playoffs, so I'm a little gun shy to get rid of another. And we have a rushing QB premium league. So getting rid of Dobbs, second running back, quarterback of the season. So I built them up, but I need the wide receiver. I have Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, and Nathaniel Dell. Dell's beast, Watson's questionable, and Watson, you know, we see these plays every friggin' week. He's getting contested. He should have like 6 touchdowns by now.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy, man.
Perps, call in. Yeah, I think I'd probably say I like the idea, but is there if he's a hot commodity in a rushing quarterback rushing, type of league, can you let me see if this is let me see if I Perps, are you trying to call in right now?
I tried Waddle Ford. I mean, I have last week hurt as a team member for running back. I took down Walker, A-Chain, and Jones on the bench. So
can we get a better receiver though than Waddle? I don't mind this, bro. Waddle's not bad, but can we get a slightly better wide receiver?
Well, that's where I was trying to stack with Ford or something like that. I just don't think he has Reed and stuff, dudes that I've picked up and dropped and stuff like that. So I'm trying to go big with this dude. Well, not big, just fair. I'm a fair trader for sure. But obviously we all want to win, but we got to fill the position on our team.
All right, I got to keep the show rolling here, bro. So Waddle, I don't know.
I also have a Cup for Walker trade. What do you think about that?
I'd rather have Cup. right now. I don't know what Walker's future holds, and if you can wait on Cup is probably the better option. I'm not saying there's not pros and cons to that. There's risk on all sides of that, but I would say I'd rather have Cup as long as you can wait on him. And he could be out 1 or 2 weeks. We don't know. But
I also have Kincaid for Debo. I need the wide receiver. I have Ingram from Jacksonville.
I'd rather trade Ingram, and I think Debo did bad enough. You might be able to force him to go that direction. I'd be tempted to.
For sure, I want Kincaid.
I would try and do that.
Number one target, 100%.
I'd try my best.
All right, cool.
Hey, go after Diggs using Dobbs. Don't not consider throwing somebody in with Dobbs to get a little bit better wide receiver. So go after Diggs, go after players like that. All right, hey, tell Sway we said hey later, Slime. I gotta go. Appreciate you.
He's just happy eating a turkey, bro.
Yep, you too. This one's a 517 caller. Who's this and where are you calling from? I got to give you 30 seconds, pal.
It's Mark from Michigan, man.
Mark from Michigan. What's up, Mark? What can I do for you real quick?
I got pretty blocked for the playoffs real quick, and then I got an offer from a guy who's on the brink. He's kind of got a divide and conquer. He's trying to give me CeeDee Lamb, but he wants Ridley, he wants Nico, and he wants Javonte, but he might throw in Herbert as a kick, so I at least get a running back. I would have AJB.
You're telling me he wants Ridley, Nico, and Javonte for your Lamb?
For his Lamb. For his Lamb.
Bro, you got to take that. What are you talking about? Lamb chops is miles above this. This is veto material, bro.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, really. Look, Ridley went off and did amazing, but this is one. Believe me, I'm the biggest advocate of trust Ridley. He's going to continue to do well. Believe in him. I like Ridley, and I'm telling you That this side right here, you know what I'm thinking? Okay, who'd you forget to list off? You only gave me Ridley, Nico, and Javonte. Who's this fourth player that you didn't list for this Lamb trade? Like, what are you even thinking? Don't hesitate. This guy could ask his mom. His mom's making meatloaf for him right now. And he could say, hey, Ma, would you rather have Lamb, Ridley, Nico, Javonte? And because this woman's cooking meatloaf, she's cooking lamb chops. She might just lean lamb because she's cooking lamb chops. And this deal might be thrown out the window just because he asked his mother what he should do here. Any sane friend of his would say, you take Lamb and you run, bro. You run.
Okay. All right. Cool. I appreciate it. Yeah.
That's bro. Take Lamb. Let's see if I'm off base here. Chat. Drop a Lamb
be
emoji.
At everything else. That was only my concern. That was my only concern. Was be thin at everything else besides wide receiver.
Would everybody please drop a Lamb emoji if you concur? Drop an X emoji or a thumb down, or something to indicate you do not agree with what I just said. Ridley, Nico, Javonte for Lamb, freaking home run. I'd be afraid that you aren't giving enough. Here you are saying maybe he'll take Javonte out. Maybe he'll take Javonte out. You take Javonte out, this is going straight to the veto board, bro. Like right now, you're lucky if they don't.
He was going to throw something in just to give me a running back because I would be pretty thin at that. So he was going to give me like a Najee. I think he said he would probably throw in.
No, I wouldn't let him do it. Don't even let him do it. Call it off. Don't add something, bro. You're going to get it vetoed.
All right. I appreciate your help, Smitty.
Like, if he's like, hey, I'll give you Najee. No, don't give me Najee. Don't give me anything. Don't give me anything. Please, just take Ridley, Nico, and Javonte for my lamb chops and do it now. Rack of lamb, says Finnegan. Look, there's nothing but lamb emojis just being trickled and sprayed all over the live chat right now. Ma's cooking meatloaf and lamb chops right now. Go do it. Do it live.
Thank you, Smitty. Love your stuff. Bye.
Yeah, all right. Later, bro. Unbelievable. Perps, you're live, pal. What can I do for you? I'm saving lives here.
Well, I don't think you're going to save me. I made a bad trade.
Oh, no.
So
what'd you do?
I gave away Stroud.
Okay. Do I need a shot? Do I need a shot before I... Okay, go ahead. Stroud?
I'll take a lap. That's fine.
No, go ahead. Tell me. What did is there a reason you did it without a little consult? Or let's see what you did. Maybe you didn't do so bad. Let's go. Stroud?
Well, no, I did just Stroud for Deontay. I don't have any wide receivers, and I sent out a bunch of trades, and no one wanted to trade. So this guy offered him up, and so I took it for basically some sort of depth, if there's any at all, because there's no one on the waiver wire.
You sound so sad about it, too. That's what makes me sad about it. But who's your quarterback?
Well, yeah, I didn't feel great about it, but Mahomes and Kyler.
Yeah, so you're really good at quarterback. So, like, at the end of the day, did this hurt you? Probably not, because you need to start Mahomes anyway. Like, you do. But could you have capitalized on this? Yes. Did you not capitalize on it? You did not. And you're not going to probably capitalize on it. But it's not like it. It's
Stroud and to multiple guys, and no one wanted to give me anything for him. And I tried to shop a couple different packages to get some different wide receivers, and nothing worked. And so I just took this one, and then obviously,
I'm sorry, bro.
After
I could give
consults, kick myself. So
if I could give you a hug right now, I would. I would just say again, the solace here, because I want to spin some positivity here. You didn't damage anything in your lineup. You just failed to capitalize on a very solid potential upgrade move. But the alternative was to not do it and have the quarterback depth in case Mahomes went down. Or let's say Mahomes struggles for another 2 weeks straight and you enter the fantasy playoffs and you're like, you know what? Stroud's throwing 4 or 5 TDs a game. And you're like, it's go time. It is what it is. And you put Stroud in, you know what I mean? So like there was definitely benefit to you. You definitely hurt your depth and potential ability to save yourself if something disastrous happens, but you certainly just look at it that way, okay? I'm trying to spin this in a good way.
It's the last week for trades, so I was trying to make something happen, and all these guys, none of them will trade past once the games start. So once usually Thursday starts,
I'm sorry,
no one will trade anyone.
I'm sorry, bro. Don't
I'm trying to make something happen.
Don't
and
look back. All right.
We'll see.
Don't look back. I'm gonna erase this so
All
it
right.
doesn't make you sad. Perps, you at least got you got your family here. Your family's here. You spilled the milk at the Thanksgiving table. Look, we cleaned it up. It's fine. Okay, the cloth is still damp. Everybody still remembers it just happened, but this is Thanksgiving will come again next year. You won't even remember you spilled the milk.
Yeah, Ron and Superfish, they slapped me in the face. They woke me up and said, "Hey, dummy, you made a dumb trade."
Yeah.
And then I'm like, "Yep, I woke up and I did. So here I am. I'll take a lap for it or two."
Perp, send me a text on that one next time. You may have sent that to me.
Okay.
I hadn't got to it yet today, but
I might have, but it's all good.
I'm sorry, bro.
Things happen. Thanks, everyone. See ya.
Perps, keep your chin up and call back if you got another one. You can even stay on the phone line if you want to.
Okay.
All right, stay right there. Balake, you're up, a.k.a. Blake.
Hooray, it's my turn. What's going on, dude?
What's
All
up,
right, hey,
Blake?
my roommate is panicking on this straight. I think it's a smash, right? But he's got CMC, and the other guy's got Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Montgomery. And he already sent the offers to him for CMC, right? So again, my buddy is CMC. He's
Bruh.
trading away CMC for St. Brown plus Montgomery. I think that's a smash.
So all that story for just trying to get to the meat and potatoes of it. The back, no offense, but the backstory I didn't even listen to. Okay, CMC for St. Brown and Monty. Is that what I'm talking? Is that what we're talking about? Aside from his mother's sister's laundry was done by the ex-cousin's brother. Okay, is that correct? St. Brown for Monty.
But they do good laundry.
They do. Okay.
Yeah, the trade is CMC.
I don't think this is
CMC for Monty and
I don't think
St.
this
Brown,
is necessarily a smash. I mean, CMC is CMC, bro. Like, could I argue? Are you in? It sounds like you're flying a plane. If
I'm in a car.
If this is like, like I said, this could help you at running back. It makes sense, but this is the better player. This is the better side. The CMC side is the better side. The question I would ask is, okay, who's the RB, who's the wide receiver if this trade isn't made? Let's look at it from that perspective. Who are they starting at wide receiver if this trade isn't made?
From recollection, they got Diggs and Calvin Ridley.
Okay, so you're telling me that their lineup goes from Ridley and CMC to St. Brown Monty. That's a massive downgrade.
Say it again.
If you're telling me that the option for them to start at wide receiver before the trade is executed is Ridley and CMC.
Oh, you're talking about my buddy. He's got
What are you talking about?
Oh, I don't know. I was talking about the other guy because he'd be looking pretty bad too. I think.
Never mind.
I don't know what my buddy has. He's probably hurting a little bit at the receiver part. I can't remember.
Yeah, Balake.
I just know the trade.
Okay. Balake, here's my point. Let's say he has a Scary Terry. Okay, whatever the case may be. If they got Scary Terry and CMC, that side crushes St. Brown and Monty. It just does. So it really does. It really does.
I do know. Yeah, sorry. I know he has Higgins and Boyd, so maybe he is hurting at the receiver part.
All right. I'd take CMC. So I disagree with you that it's a smash, but I could understand both sides. I'll leave it at that.
Okay. And then last question, real quick. Would you get rid of Njoku and then take Calvin Ridley in return?
Who's your tight end?
I have Kincaid. And then I also have Njoku, but I could step Njoku and get Ridley.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Ridley, if I'm drafting today, Ridley gets drafted over Njoku by rounds, bro. Rounds. Not 1 round, not a round and a half, rounds. Like, I don't even know how many rounds. So the answer would be...
He lost Andrews, and there's just no tight ends available, so I think he's taking a little different. Okay. That's all I got, man. Thank you.
All right, later, Block. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Perps, you got anything else you want to add, Perps, while you're waiting there on hold? I want to lift Perps' spirit up. I feel very bad. He sounds so defeated. Perps, what can I do for you? Positivity. What can I do for you?
I don't know. I got to rethink it all now. Nothing to share right now.
Okay, hang tight right there, Perps. Perps to the moon. I'm going to send you to Saturn. Would that help? Saturn.
No, that's only for winners. So.
No, Perps. You are going to Saturn, young man. You stop. Okay, let's go to Rico in Espanol. Rico, ¿cómo estás, señor?
Muy bien. How are you?
¿Qué necesitas?
Muy bien. All right, listen, my trade deadline is gone. This is the team I'm rolling with, and I just want to nail these down, make sure I'm doing this shit right.
Okay.
Dak over Fields. Agreed?
It's a tough one. Dak over Fields. Yeah, because look, Dak's at home tomorrow against the Commanders in this middle game matchup, and the Commanders. Here's the thing: is the Commanders are going to struggle against this defense, and it's going to be the only concern I would have is that the Cowboys get up so big that they run, which is great for Pollard to the moon. Let's hopefully Pollard every day. But this is a situation where I very much could imagine Dak like having, 2 touchdowns, and you're like, man, his score is like 40 points, to whatever. How does he only have 2 scores? But I would take Dak. Dak has been on fire. Fields has been, obviously up and down all year with the big mix of injury and all this, I would just say at the end of the day, now the Chicago at Minnesota matchup Monday night is kind of interesting. And it makes me hesitate because that's a big spotlight game. There should be a lot of scoring, I imagine, or maybe not. Maybe it's low scoring. I don't know.
Yeah, Minnesota, you can run. They're good against the run, but their secondary,
Yeah.
you can throw on them for sure.
And Minnesota, the way Dobbs is playing, like I have a feeling Dobbs is going to score, a couple times, right?
Yeah.
So that there should be opportunity to score. But I'm going to say, how do you sit Dak? Okay, so Dak, go ahead, Dak for now.
That's my argument. It's like I can't. He's been carrying me the past 4 or 5 weeks. I gotta ride the lightning with Dak.
Yeah.
At running back, I got Jacobs, Monty, and then I'm flexing Mostert. But
Monster?
Stevenson against the Giants. Mostert, yeah. And Stevenson against the Giants is it keeps on toying at me but I can't. I don't think he replaces any of those 3 guys.
Okay, so give me it again. Jacobs, Mostert, who else? AKA Monster.
And Monty.
And Monty, okay. And you're picking how many?
3 of those 4.
And I'm sorry, Jacobs, Mostert, Monty, and who's the 4th?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, Stevenson. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And strictly for the matchup is why I'm sort of second guessing replacing one of those 3, but I feel like I can't sit Jacobs, Monty, or Raheem.
Yeah, as long as he's questionable, so you're just going to keep an eye on this Mostert situation.
Yeah.
The good news is you're not sitting Monty, right? And Jacobs, while you're probably not sitting him, he hasn't exactly. He's kind of on that, he had a bad game. You're wondering what the hell is going on. So he would be your potential guy you would swap out. And so if Mostert, who you'll find out on Friday if he's playing or not, will give you time to react to put Jacobs in. Or put Stevenson in. So I definitely say, I definitely say right now I'm leaning these 3. And Stevenson's your way out if Mostert on Friday isn't good to go, because that New England game is on Sunday, and again you'll know Mostert's status on Friday, so you'll be good to go. But if Mostert's playing, you're playing Mostert.
We're thinking about it the same way. Also, at wide receiver.
All right, last one, bro. Last one. All right, go ahead.
Diggs, Cup, Chase.
Come on, dude. We're not sitting Diggs.
Dell.
We're not sitting Diggs. We're taking Diggs out. Cup and what? Cup?
Chase.
And Dell?
And Tank.
And how many
Tank
can you
and
start out of Cup, Chase, and Dell? Because you're starting Diggs.
Well, hold on. So I'm starting those 4, but do you replace Hopkins with any of those? No, right? And so Hopkins cannot supersede any of those.
No. I mean, Cup's probably not playing, bro.
At all? I thought he didn't practice today, did he?
I mean, we're assuming he's not until he's said to go. But Cup Hopkins for, let's say, Cup. But if Cup were to play, then I'd play Cup. But I don't anticipate Cup playing. Let me pull up the latest news on Little Cooper Cup. And even if he did play, bro, he's so banged up right now. Let me just pull up the latest news on.
He's a DNP today.
Yeah. Missing from Wednesday's practice, McVay said the wide receiver will not practice on Wednesday. Cup suffered the low right ankle sprain, which was the good news for the long term. Rams are listing him day to day. He missed practice. Kickoff, 30-year-old won't miss any. I don't know, bro. Well, for right now, you assume he's out until you hear further. All right,
thanks, Minnie.
Got to roll. Appreciate you, bro. All right, that was Ricardo. Appreciate Ricardo. Tennessee Mike, I got to go down to the 30-second timer, bro. I'm sorry. It's just these are getting really lengthy.
You're good, Smitty. It's all good, man. I just need some flex help.
Okay, go ahead.
So I had Walker and A-Chain, kind of jack me up with their injuries last week. So I sat Walker for Sharp. I got A-Chain. I don't think he's going to play. I have him at the flex now, but who would you play over him? I got Brandon Cooks, Keaton Mitchell, Cole Kmet, or Noah Brown. I don't think Justin Jefferson's playing.
God, bro, Mitchell's so risky, but it's got so much upside still. It's so tough. You just don't know if he's going to get the work or not. You said Brandon Cooks?
I mean, I'm for some reference, I'm playing the New York Giants defense against New England, so I'm going on risk.
I mean, Cooks is safer. Brandon Cooks, right?
Yeah. Yep.
No, Brown has been injured, and I would say, look, if you want a dice roll, bro, and you need a big swing to win, why not just throw Mitchell in? But hopefully Achane plays. Sharps is a solid play for you. Hopefully Achane plays, but if Achane doesn't play, he's questionable, then I would just say you're putting your balls on the table. But, bro, it is what it is.
Yeah. I'm going against the guy who's 9-2 in my league. I'm sitting 5-6, so like I said, I need a big swing, so I don't mind risking with Keaton Mitchell. I was just curious, always come to the community before.
Yeah. And by the way,
making the silly decision.
Yeah, thank you, Tennessee Mike. Appreciate you, man.
All right, buddy. Thank
later. Perps just joined the YouTube exclusive membership while he's sitting there on hold. Perps, appreciate you, Perps. Perps to the moon. What's up, Perps? You just decided while you're sitting there? Join the YouTube exclusive membership, you monster.
Oh, I'm a member on everything else, and the one over here expired, so I was sitting here, I'm like, oh, I don't have my badges, so I hit the button, and here I am.
Appreciate you, bro. All right.
I will run something by in my better league.
Okay.
Starting lineup for this week. I'm gonna go Tua, Pollard, Sharps, Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Ferguson, Debo.
Hold on one second. Tua, Pollard, Sharps, Tyreek Hill.
Devontae, Ferguson, Debo, Keaton Mitchell, and then I'm gonna leave Connor, Spears, Rice, and Douglas on the bench.
Yeah, I like that. It's good. Good team.
And Fields.
That's a good team, man. Very good team. Tua and Fields are going to be a tough call from week to week, but I think Tua's playing well right now. Played well last week. I think that offense is awesome. Obviously, they struggle against good defenses at times, of course, but I think once Achane's back on the field, that's going to be amazing. So yeah, you got a good team. This is a really good squad. Pollard bouncing back for you the other day was nice. I think that continues, especially on Turkey Day, and hopefully Sharps does well on Turkey Day as well. Hill, straight fire. Adams, straight fire. Tua, I like your team, bro. Nice work.
It's 7-4 PPR 12-man, so
nice,
that's my better league, and then the one that I made the garbage trade in, 5-6. So.
Nice work, Perps.
I got Mahomes, Breece Hall, Keaton Mitchell, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper,
all right,
McBride, Deontay Downs.
Perps to the moon. All right, I'm going to cycle everybody off the phone line now because I got to hit these super chats and get out of here and get some dinner. But Perps, I appreciate you. Send me a message on the text line. I appreciate you, bro. Let's go to Rock Out. Marsman Rock Out. Last final thoughts, Marsman.
Yeah, I picked up Russ, but someone dropped Dobbs. Would you try to get Dobbs?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Would the chat rather have Russell, Wilson, or Dobbs if you could only have one? Let's see what the chat thinks, but...
Yeah, it's for a backup.
I mean, I'd probably rather have... I guess I'd rather have Russ, but it's close, man. Super close. But let's let the chat decide. Chat, vote Dobbs, Russ as your backup quarterback. You got to pick one, do it live. Thank you, Rock Out. Appreciate you. Okay, who's making all that noise, that rustling around? Is that Draper? Is that Two-Time Junior? Is that Al? Like, who's rustling the phone line?
That's Al.
It's Al. Al, what can I do for you? You're live.
Hey, Sweeney, it wasn't me. I'm got it on mute.
Okay.
But real quick, I need to start two wide receivers. I need to start two wide receivers. I got Metcalf, Dell, Addison.
As much as I do like Addison, I still think he's a great, is a great talent in a situation that is supposed to be better than it is for him, and it's not. So I'm just gonna say, like, you can't sit Dell, and DK did pretty well, and I think they'll be down throwing the ball a lot in that Niner game on Turkey Day tomorrow. So I'm gonna go DK, I think, but you're not crazy to go Addison over DK, but you certainly cannot sit Dell. He's your lock, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Real quick, for a flex, do you like Ramondre, Khalil Herbert, or Keaton Mitchell?
Ramondre. As much as I worry about him, he's still got some of that ability in there. We see it every once in a while, so I'm gonna go Stevenson.
I appreciate it. Listen, Smitty, have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, Thanksgiving to you, bro. Later.
Later.
Have a nice Thanksgiving as well. Don Draper.
Smitty, my man.
Yo.
Hey, I have a question for you. Half-point PPR, two wide receivers, and a flex. I'm currently wrestling with Devontae Adams, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, and Sharps. I got to sit one, and so I'm kind of trying to pick your brain to see who you would sit out of those four.
Is that you, Don? What are you doing with the phone?
Oh, I'm not doing anything. It's not me. That must be somebody else.
Okay, two-time. What are you doing, bro? Are you okay? Is somebody wrestling you to the ground? Two-time.
Yes, sir.
Is that you? You can be honest. I'm not mad. I just want to know if you're okay, bro.
No. I'm sitting here. I was on mute until you called me out. So.
Don, it has to be you then, Don. It's got to be your phone's on your shoulder and you don't know that it's doing it or something. But it sounds like someone's wrestling you to the ground and putting you in a headlock.
My fault. Did you hear what I said, or did I?
Yeah, I did. But it was the whole time you've been on the line. Last 5 minutes, it's been like I don't know what you're doing with the phone. Is the phone in your shoulder? Is that what you're doing?
It was on my chest. And I never make that mistake. That's a rookie mistake. I'm sorry.
Yeah, bro. That thing's been like the whole show. The whole time you've been on the phone, it's just been like you're at the ocean, in the ocean sounds or something. All right. Anyway,
I was just blaming the other guy too.
Yeah, you were. Everybody always blames the other guy. No one ever admits it and mans up and says, "You know what? That sound was me." Everybody blames everybody else. That's okay. So Adams is a lock for me. Charbonnet, based on volume, regardless of matchup, feels like a lock to me. And quite honestly, this is a toss-up. Let's have the chat vote on this one because I don't know that there's a really good answer here. Waddle, Olave, Waddle. Please vote. If, let's say, Winston gets the start, and we don't really know as of this moment if Carr is going to play, he's trending in the direction of playing. If Winston were playing, I'd say Olave. With Carr playing, it makes me like waiver, and I think that's when we're going to get a chat vote here. Chat vote here. Waddle, Olave, Waddle. Please vote right now. drop your vote for Don Draper. Don, I got to run. Check the chat vote for the conclusion here.
All right. Thanks,
All right.
Smitty. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
All right, you're the man. Happy Thanksgiving. Two-time junior. You're the final caller. You're live.
Hey, Smitty, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
You gave me a tip in week 9 that moved me from 7th place to 4th place, so I want to keep that rolling.
What was it? What was the tip?
I traded Purdy, Henry, and Devontae Smith for Hurts, Jacobs, and Goddard.
Nice, bro.
Yeah, it wasn't terrible.
Yeah,
Goddard went down in the same week of the trade, but I rolled out McBride, and he's been rolling pretty nicely since. So I'll take it until he gets back. So I need 2 receivers, 2 running backs, and a flex. I'm just kind of torn on the matchups. So I have Ayuk, Waddle, Thielen, Sutton, Reed at wide receiver.
Ayuk, Waddle, Thielen, and Sutton?
And Reed.
Sutton and Reed, okay.
And then I have Gibbs, Jacobs, and Singletary for RBs.
And you can start 2, 2, and 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'd start all 3 of the running backs. Singletary, Jacobs, Gibbs, those are locked. And then the 2 wide receivers for me are probably Ayuk and, I don't know, it's between Waddle and, Waddle, Thielen, and Sutton are all really close. I think Singletary's just getting too much volume. You're not sitting Jacobs and Gibbs. Singletary's back-to-back 100-yard games. He's getting the volume. It's a good offense. I'm not sitting Singletary. So it really
What
does.
do you think about Sauce and DJ, though, up against Hill and Waddle? That's pretty tough.
About what?
Sauce and DJ against Hill and Waddle, that's pretty tough.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's coming down to these 3 options here. The one thing I'd say is that Sutton has just so many touchdowns. Like he's been getting touchdowns. How many touchdowns does he have? Like 8 this year?
Counts for sure.
It's crazy. I'd probably, I don't know, maybe Thielen has some sort of like resurgence. I don't know. It's a tough one.
I've been torn between Thielen and Reed, honestly. I feel like Reed has a pretty favorable matchup. He's been pretty hot, even with not getting a lot of volume.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to say? It's tough for me. I'd probably say give me Waddle. I would just take the chance on Waddle. I think Tyreek gets put in check, but I feel like Waddle, I don't know. That's a tough one. Put it this way. Reed's your safe play. You want safety, go Reed. You want high risk, high reward play, go Waddle. That's my call. The thing is, Sutton has been getting touchdowns, but he doesn't necessarily get the yardage. I'm going to go ahead and say give me Waddle, but that's me.
Gotcha. I appreciate you.
All right, 2 times. See you later, bro. Okay, let's hit these super chats, then we're out of here. Appreciate every single one of you. The phone lines are now closed. I'm sorry if you missed out on a call. And then St. Brown, James Cook, or Eckler, Diggs rest of season. Give me Eckler and Diggs by a country mile, my guy, by quite a bit. Worldwide West says start 2, Brees, Bijan, Achane, Kyren. If Achane's playing, I'm playing him. And I'm probably going Kyren. If Achane sits, I'm going to go Bijan and Kyren personally. But those are awesome options. You're going to get that wrong 10 times out of 10, practically. This one here from David. Got Bijan Addison for Swift Flowers. Bijan Addison for Swift Flowers. Hey, as much as I want to say Bijan got him, et cetera, et cetera. Look, Swift is playing great. And Flowers is really good. I would say got him, no, approved, even. I do believe Addison and Bijan will. I'd probably lean that side just because I think Bijan does turn it on. But that's certainly close, very close. Gorilla, appreciate you. Lions kicker or grab Falcons or Broncos kicker. Let's go Lions, baby. Lots of scoring going to happen in this game. Let's see here. Emil says, half PPR start, 3 running backs. Pollard, Monty, Brian Robinson, Sharbs. I'd probably go. Brian Robinson's got a tough matchup, bro, against Dallas. Give me Charbonnet. Tough matchup too, but give me Charbonnet. Pollard, Charbonnet, Monty, pretty easy call for me. Appreciate you dropping that super chat. Gorilla, need 2 running backs. Mixon, Bijan, Ford, Pacheco. Give me Bijan and Ford for safety. Higher risk, higher reward play would be Pacheco over Ford, but I'd take Ford. I think that defense needs that run together. They try and win that way. Someone sent me an offer, my Monty, Adams, and Ayuk for Kamara, St. Brown. I'd rather have Kamara and St. Brown, but it's close. It really is. I mean, the 3 players makes it even. I would say if you've got depth, I'd want the Kamara St. Brown side. If you don't have depth, I'd maybe say the other side might help you a little more at the end of the day, to be honest. Perps dropping a $50 holler on screen. Perps, you maniac, you. Happy Thanksgiving, Smitty, to the chat. I'm thankful for the community and all of the Smitty's help week by week, brick by brick. I'm definitely blaming my bad trade. I'm definitely blaming my bad trade on Smitty. It can be my fault, right? He's just kidding. Perps, appreciate you, man. Absolute straight fire. $20 holler. Let's go. Perps is such a good dude too.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perps, my man. Thank you, Perps. Appreciate you very much. Appreciate your super chats, your support. Robert with a $20 holler. Robert, you monster.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Robert coming in strong. Need help with my flex and PPR. Love both matchups. Pacheco or Kyren? I'm going Kyren. As long as everything looks good to go. A little nervous with him being Kyren's first game back. I would be a little nervous too, but I think as long as you're hearing no negativity around it, I would definitely go Kyren. We should have more information too, given that that's not one of these early games, so you should have plenty of information by Sunday, I think. But Kyren, according to McVay, it doesn't sound like he'll be limited or anything, and he's looking like he's going to be good to go. So, Superfish, please rank my. Thanks again for the $20 holler, bro. Appreciate you very much for that, super bro. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Superfish, please rank my running backs and wide receivers: Swift, Kamara, Kyren, Pacheco, Bijan, Keaton, Mitchell, Achane. If Achane were starting, he'd be 1. Kyren will be 2, Bijan 3. No, Kamara 3, Bijan 4, etc. Who do I start right now? I'm assuming, assume Achane misses the game. I'm starting Kamara and probably Kyren, then Bijan in that order. But Swift's hard to sit, but Swift does have a pretty tough matchup against the Bills, so I think this week I would, but I really do like Swift. Swift feels like he broke through that wall. And wide receivers, I'm going to say Dell is number 1, Ridley's number 2, no matter what, in that order. Superfish to the moon. Appreciate you. Nice squad. Dell season's here to stay. I need a Dell animation. What am I doing? Singletary, Kyren, or Sharps for my flex. I'm going Kyren without much of a hesitation. He's been a top 5 running back when he's been on the field. Unless we hear some sort of indication in the next 24 hours, 48 hours, whatever, that he's going to be limited, then you have a dilemma to make, and we'll adjust and adapt from there. Lamar, Dobbs, or Kyler? I'm going to go Lamar. Kyren, Devonta Smith, or Flowers. I'm assuming that's Devonta, not Devontae. The spelling DP doesn't match either Devontae Adams or Devonta Smith. So you kind of like have a morph between Devontae Adams and Devonta Smith. So I'm going to say if it's Devonta Smith, I'm going to go Kyren, Devonta, Flowers. If it's Devontae, probably same order. But definitely going to go Lamar. I think Lamar is hard to sit. I don't think you can sit Lamar. Thanks, Smitty. Sorry I was going long. Happy Thanksgiving. Ricardo, don't worry about it, bro. Appreciate you. I cut you off when I need to cut you off. It doesn't mean any negative. There's nothing negative about it. Appreciate you. Shoddy, appreciate you. Shoddy says, I will call earlier next week, bro. Lamar or Stroud. I'm going to go probably, Stroud is at home against the Jaguars. Lamar is on the road against the Chargers. I probably lean Lamar for upside and Stroud for safety. So depending on what you need. And let's see here. trade Stroud and Lamar for B-Rob. For Bijan Robinson or Brian Robinson, Shoddy, because there's two different players that share that abbreviated name, bro. I would say if it's Brian Robinson, no, I'm just not doing it. I know I give him no respect, and I should give him way more respect than I do, but as far as like Bijan, yeah, I look at this point, I would trade. This is what Perp should have did. Perp's, this is what I would have wanted you to trade Stroud for Bijan, or Lamar for Bijan. If you trust Stroud over Lamar, I'm fine with that on the year. I'm fine with that, either one. But I would trade one of those for Bijan. I traded my Evans, Javonte, T-Law, McBride, Kirk for Diggs, Bijan, Lamar. I like that a lot. Yeah. So if you got Bijan already, this doesn't make sense to me. At least you know my side. But I think you mean Brian Robinson then. And no, I don't trade those quarterbacks for Brian Robinson. Smitty proved not that one. But Shoddy, appreciate you. Rock out. Flex 1, Javonte, McLaurin, Reed, full PPR. Probably go, I guess I go McLaurin. But Reed's kind of crafty, man. That's one you're going to get wrong like 50% of the time. Because Reed's going to do well, then not do well, then do well. I go McLaurin, I guess. Or, yeah, Scary Terry McLaurin. Pick 2, Puka, Lockett, Garrett Wilson, Flowers, Deontay. Believe it or not, I'm going Puka and Flowers in this one for safety. If you want high risk, high reward, go Puka and Garrett Wilson. But if you want safety, Flowers feels pretty safe this week with Andrews out. I just think his long touchdown got called back last week. People don't really know how amazing he looked in that game because of the box score bobbies didn't see it. Start 1, Trump or Biden. We don't get too political here because it just pisses people off, Wes. It just does. It's ridiculous. Like I wouldn't mind, but people mind, and it's annoyingly annoying when people get all pissed off when you bring up something. So let's just stay away from that one, I guess. 2 QB league, start 2, Fields, Goff, Dobbs, Dobbs and Fields, because man, I don't know. That's a tough one because this matchup's pretty good for Goff. Minnesota is at home on Monday night, right? Yeah, the Monday night game. That's Chicago. Oh, bro. I guess I would go, honestly, I'd go Dobbs and Fields. But Goff is, the only reason I don't start Goff, and you can't blame anybody, this includes you, me, anybody that sits Goff, is just, until he bounces back, it's safe to go Dobbs. I mean, Dobbs actually didn't have as big a game as he could have either, but I'd probably go Dobbs. Can we get a Dobbs and Goff vote in the chat, please, for Zach? Let's help Zach out on the Goff-Dobbs dilemma. Goff or Dobbs this week? That's the only dilemma you have. $5 hauler from Travis, 0.5, Kyler, Howell, Love, Diggs, DK, Cup, JSN, Pickens, ETN, K9, Sharbs, Hawkinson, Kincaid. Sharbs over Achane. But if Achan's playing, it's Achane. In terms of trade, I would definitely rather have Achane over Charbonnet. As far as trades, I'm trying to get rid of the Walker-Charbonnet combo. I'm trying to throw one of those tight ends together and go after a tight end needy team. I'd give up Hawkinson if need be because he might get you more back in return. But, obviously, Howell, Love, somebody needs a QB and a tight end at the same time. You're going to really be able to capitalize on that. I would say K9, Charbonnet for Adams. I would give up a tight end to make that a little bit bigger wide receiver. I think Diggs is, you got Diggs. Let's see, Cup, you got Cup. Okay, JJ. The Seattle running backs, and let's say a potential Ford or one of the tight ends, or maybe even like a Pickens or maybe DK in the Seattle backs for like JJ and something. You get something else. Very, very doable. Kyler, Howell, upgrade one of those quarterbacks using the Seattle backs to get Hurts, Josh Allen, or Mahomes. I think those would be moves I would make with that team, Travis. That would be on my radar for sure. Probably the first things I would look to do would be those things. Sharbs, Flowers, Smitty, or McBride, Kyler, or Fields. I'm going to go Fields. I'm going to go Devonta Smith. Easily Devonta Smith over that. Flowers is nice. Sharps is nice, but definitely. All right, I'll see you all later. Appreciate every single one of you. Thank you to my $20 haulers. Vampy coming in with a 20 watt on screen, you monster. Thank you, Vampy. Appreciate you so much. Rick Moore with a $20 hauler. Rick, you're an absolute gem. Thank you, Rick. Appreciate you. Perps with a $50 hauler earlier, and Perps with a $20 hauler, and I think he just dropped this one.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Perps, you monster. Smitty throwing the punches. I'll take it. I definitely screwed up. No, you're fine, Perps. Let it go. You're good to go, but I took the only trade I could get. Live and learn. Yeah, I'd hold off before I make a trade just because it's the best offer. Perps to planet Uranus. No, we're sending Perps back to Saturn. Okay?
To Saturn.
Let it go, Perps. It's done. You got this, bro. Don't even worry about it. This one here is from Gazelle. Bench one. I'm probably going to bench out of this crew right here. I'm probably going to bench Waddle. Yeah, bench Waddle, but that's a tough one. Top Gun. Do I trade Chase and Pacheco for Warren and Waddle? Not enough. I like Warren a lot. I like where your head's at here, but I don't know that that's enough. I don't think that's the best move. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you all. Live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every Monday through Friday. Have a happy Thanksgiving. I'll be live tomorrow. I don't know that I'll be live at the normal time. We'll see what happens. It might be a graveyard shift tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving. May or may not be the same time tomorrow, but just plan on a show, but it might be a graveyard show. See you all later. Appreciate every single one of you super chatting monsters. Happy Thanksgiving. Joe Vang dropping a late one here. Pick 2, running back 2, and a flex. Hall, Pacheco, Sharps. I'm probably going to go Hall and Pacheco for safety. Or no, Pacheco and Sharps for safety volume-wise. Hall and Pacheco or Hall and Sharps for upside. But honestly, those are coin tosses, Joe. Guys, can we get a vote? Can you guys rank Hall, Pacheco, Charbonnet in order, please, for Joe? Hall, Pacheco, Charbonnet. Please rank that for Joe in the chat. I'll see you all later. Peace out. Thank you. Happy Turkey Day. Hall, Pacheco, Sharps. Rank them in the chat. All three backs, please. Thank you.